Broke ass nigga, what you do today? Broke ass nigga, what you do today? The young OG, bitch, I talk more shit than Dogface.
The most dangerous voice in Detroit is running all over the YouTube streets.
That's what they said.
Because you never know who or what's going to get it next. Because Dogface TV is in the area.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My name is Dogface Calderon. I want to welcome everybody to the illustrious YouTube Streets panel. We didn't have a lot going on. And we're going to get nobody likes Dogface. Nobody likes Baby Doll. Nobody likes Uncle Juice. And certainly nobody likes Boogie. And I dare I say that nobody likes Madam Queen hailing from the great city of Yonkers. I don't like her. So I know
everybody loves Henny.
I know that the regular rank and file YouTubers.
I like you, Henny.
I love you. I love you. I love Baby Doll.
Well, hey, listen. Hey, listen. Don't start that shit. Hey, listen. Welcome to the YouTube Streets. Uncle Juice, aka Beat Factory 313. What's up, Juice?
What up, though? Welcome everybody and all my hosts. You feel me? Salute to Ray Benzino for grazing this platform for us.
All right, Boogie.
Public figure Boogie.
Don't start smoking that weed already.
Instagram.
What? Oh, there you go. I can't even do me. I didn't put it down for a minute.
I'm just saying, though, man. Don't start that shit already, bro. Wait till we get to 5 minutes in.
See what I'm saying? Public figure Boogie. Y'all know how I do. Time to go to work.
Baby Doll So Raw. The motherfucking listen. That's my nigga. If she don't get no bigger. You hear me?
Yeah, I'm done growing. I'm done growing. I'm stuck at 5'2".
You don't think we know
when
what
I'm mad, I'm 10 feet tall. I swear to God, when I'm mad, I feel like I'm 10 feet tall.
We know that. And listen. Now, so this is what you last, but certainly not least. My soul sister, Angela Wimbush, Afeni Shakur, Joanne Chesimar, my Angela Davis, my favorite Negrita in the world. No other than Hennessy Reviews.
Henny Low.
What's popping, y'all? Shout out to everybody. Hey, what's popping, Henny gang? Throw them Henny glasses in the chat. Okay.
Hey, I got some clapping for you, Henny.
You got some clapping for me?
That's how special we are. Hey, listen, we have a very special guest, and he's been here a couple of different times. I know this gentleman, and this gentleman, he is a part of the reason why people in Detroit have so much of a problem with me. He came to Detroit about 1.5 years ago, went down there to Mom's Spaghetti, threw the fucking spaghetti on the ground, and started talking crazy about Detroit's favorite white boy, Eminem. And then I interviewed him later, and boy, I ain't never received that much negative hate text. I mean, not hate DM, hate inbox, hate comment on YouTube. They don't like me because of Mr. Ray Benzino. How you doing, brother?
Hey, yo, I don't know if I should clap for that.
No, I got the clapping for you. You get hold on, I got clapping for you. I got some clapping for you.
Let me ask you a question. Hey, Face, let me ask you a question.
Come on.
So was a lot of the blowback from a lot of white people, or like how, if you could say a percentage, how much percentage were white to black as far as, you know?
It was 99% niggas and 0.5% Mexicans or Latinos.
Wow.
And 0.5% white people.
Wow.
Nigga, it's always niggas, ain't it? Ain't it always niggas?
Nah, well, not for me. Now it's like 90% white and maybe 10%, 15%, 85, 15 maybe.
Well, so you got the reverse hate going on. I wish I could have that.
I blocked 3,600 people, and I think in about 6 months.
That's a whole lot of goddamn block.
Damn.
So listen,
How many?
3,600. I can believe it because I ain't lit like that, and I don't have the history and the career you have. Shout out to somebody just sent some money. Who that sent that money? Who that
Henny, you know that's Henny money. You know that's Henny money.
You gotta start. Listen, you gonna have to start sharing that motherfucking money.
You not about to shake me down because what's popping?
Yeah,
Is this gonna be the D versus NYC? What we doing? Because you're not running down on me for my bag.
Don't start that East Coast.
Damn, 1999. I only got
Why you counting my pockets, Boogie?
Right. You know, don't start that. See, Benzino from Boston, she from New York.
Biggie love Detroit. Biggie love Detroit.
Yeah,
Biggie love Detroit. Stop
I'm
playing.
trying to show him love, but you see him trying to run down on my bag. Come on now.
No, I'm just saying, though, that's a big bag right there. I ain't got no gas.
Your rich ass up, dog.
Gas money.
You was just on the yacht and you ain't got no gas.
I don't
That
give
nigga got some fucking gas. He just ain't got it on hand.
That was AI.
A black man can't be broke no more. That don't make no. I don't got no money. You know what I'm saying? Ray Benzino's in the building. What's up, Benzino? What's popping with you, bro?
Dogface Calderon, I appreciate all y'all for having me, man. I'm excited.
Damn.
Like, yeah, for real. I you know, honestly, man, like I told you as soon as we talked about this, I was like, come on, when we supposed to do it before. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got so much to talk about. So you know what I mean? Like, let's just get to it.
Okay, so listen. Somebody else just sent 220. Hey, keep on saying money.
That's Henny.
Keep on sending money over here.
Telling Mama's A.
Keep on sending some more money. I dare you. It's been a couple of years since the last time we talked. Ray, I call you Zeno, bro. I call you Zeno.
Man, Ray, Zeno, Benzino, face. It's all good, brother.
Yeah. So listen, for people who are young and was born after when you can legally buy alcohol, let me tell you briefly about who this man is. So when it comes to the annals of hip hop, when it comes to so first of all, I had classic limited edition.
Appreciate that.
I had the goddamn tape, right? I had the fucking tape, and it was the first tape that I'm like, when I first got the tape, you know how back in the day we old school. Well, I'm old school, so I used to open up the paperwork and read the credits and read the little bio and shit, right? Yeah. And it was like Boston, the first. I'm a fan of New Edition, but I had never heard of any Boston rappers ever. Right. So when I got the CD classic limited edition, bro, I'm listening, right? And then I'm like, okay, so I'm reading the credits and shit. So I put that motherfucker in. That was some gangster shit.
Yeah, man.
The whole tape played like they don't even make music like that anymore. But the whole tape played like a fucking Scarface movie or King of New York, song after song after song of balling and fucking niggas up. So I didn't even realize that Benzino from the group was the same Benzino from the fucking Source magazine. Yeah. It didn't hit me right away until I saw a review. Because you know I used to read the reviews in the Source. You know how you used to read the reviews and shit. I looked, and then it was like, I was like, oh, this is the same cat right here. It was crazy as a motherfucker. I don't want to. We've already covered your journey, but that content has since been taken down because since the last time I talked to you, I've lost. How many YouTube pages have I lost? One or two?
Two or three.
Two. I lost two. Motherfuckers reported my page openly and said that's what they was gonna do.
I mean, I've lost about at least 12 Instagram pages. I had 1 million followers. Same thing with Twitter. 700,000 followers wiped out. So you know, it's all you know. I understand, brother. I understand.
It's a part of the business. So, because you know, you have been so we've covered a lot of territory. So I'm not going to go over all that stuff again. But when it comes to, I want to start with the whole Diddy trial.
Okay.
Because we talk, but we haven't talked online like this, right?
Absolutely.
You were not surprised when I talked to you before. You were one of the first people who before Diddy even get. I call him Daddy Love.
Right.
Before Funk Dr. Love even got indicted, you were one of the first people to tell me, "Hey, dog, watch out. They coming for Diddy."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you like, there's no way with all of the stuff that because you like he has shit on everybody.
Right.
So when he did get indicted, what was your thought process?
With me, you know what I'm saying, because of from what I've heard about with the tapes and everything, I just go with like experience from what I went through as far as with the feds and the law, and then just common sense. You know, Diddy, you know, taping people and being the party man, usually it's just not about the industry. That being the party man, Diddy was the party man for a lot of people. We talking politicians, we talking major guys, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it was going to be too much for them, you know. That's why, you know, I really wasn't worried about him, you know, getting all these charges, because honestly, you know, too many people would have went down. You know, too many people would have, too many important people that, you know, I mean, this is like a club. You got to understand, like the high is up, you know, they don't want that to happen. So um I feel like when you look at the history of America and black men, it's not about money, it's about influence. You know, a lot of men, black men, have had money and they didn't get targeted. But once you start getting influence, see, that's the difference. Because, you know, and I've said this before, you know, white people are the ones that run this country
Mhm.
and they live for history. You know, black people live for the moment. And, you know, I really believe that everything they do is about history, because history is what keeps the control.
Mhm.
And, you know, everything's perception. You can't, you know, because when we're long gone, history is going to be intact, and they got to make sure that whoever had influence, there's going to be a scar by their name. And when you look at it, all our top guys are falling by the wayside. It was almost like, damn, you know, you could see, you know, and even now, you know, like when you look at, you know, God forbid something happens with Kanye, God forbid with Denzel, but there's a lot of guys that still have major influence that are in line. To me, you know, I was on that trajectory as far as money wise and influence, but then everything just kind of took a fall when I got indicted. When we, you know, so I never got to really get that high, but I got to a level where it was kind of easy to see what this is all about as far as being a black man with money and influence.
Mhm.
So, you know, I kind of knew Diddy. I didn't think he was gonna get all these charges against him because he knows too much, you know.
Mhm. And I'm gonna tell you something. My whole thought process going into it is when it came down, I wasn't surprised, because normally once things start to snowball, right? When I looked at the raids, even before the raids of his property in LA and in Miami and I believe New York, I said this shit getting real sticky. But it was obvious that the raids, they were looking for the tapes, they were looking for evidence. It was obvious. Henny was in New York and she was there all but for a couple of days in person witnessing the actual trial. And so
Wow.
she was able to give us some perspective about just the inner, about all of the shit that was happening inside. There's a lot of information that still hasn't made it out of that trial yet. That if
Yeah.
you wasn't there, you don't know about it, right? It's a lot of shit coming up. But when the charges came down, and I seen the charges, I believe it was 5 charges, right, Henny? When I
Yes,
seen the
5 charges.
charges, when I seen the charges, you basically saying, fuck all the gay shit, fuck all that, right? You're basically saying that he sex trafficked motherfuckers because he flew people from out.
Well, that's a clause. Well, that was the clause that they look. You got to understand, and even with us, like, you know, Murder Inc. went through it. I went through it with the source. You know, we got indicted. I took mine to trial and beat it. Murder Inc. took theirs trial and beat it. I'm surprised Diddy didn't get caught up in taxes. You got to kind of give Diddy his props that he kept his books together, because the way the feds work is that if they can't get you criminally,
Yeah,
there's the criminal side and there's the tax
the
side.
Al
You know what I'm
Capone
saying?
side. They didn't
There's
get
Al
Al
Capone,
Capone
right?
with no criminal shit. They got him on
So
tax.
you got to give Diddy his props because that never came up. And even so, when you look at everything, they have little clauses that they can use. The RICO was made for the mob. They made that because they knew that loose lips sink ships, man. That's the oldest saying in the
Mhm.
book, right? They knew that they know that in any organization you have a higher up and you have the bottom guys. It's a totem pole, and every guy in the middle. The bottom guys are the guys who ain't getting nothing. They know when you indict them as a group that the guys who are at the bottom everyone's looking at the same time, but the guys at the bottom never had nothing. So it's going to be easy to crack them. And history shows that that works. So that's why when they grab a whole bunch of people, some people have, I mean, bullshit charges, but they know if they're a part of the RICO, then they could break them first because the guy at the bottom of the totem pole is like, wait a minute, I wasn't even getting no money, I wasn't doing nothing. Why the fuck do I got to get 15, 20 years? So you damn right they're gonna tell, and then it goes up the ladder. So it's a tactic that the feds have used, and we're gonna talk more about as far as into the Young Thug thing, but in this Diddy situation, nobody else got indicted by him. Like
Right.
he was the lone Rico. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
Well,
what
see,
we was doing. We ain't never seen nobody get a RICO by themselves. Who gets a RICO
It was
solo?
crazy.
that's not
Crazy.
true. Historically, there have been single man RICOs, but the problem with this case was the way they built the hierarchy, right? It was Diddy at the top. Then you had the assistant KK. Then you had the security guards, and they were looking at the assistants as the foot soldiers. So that's how they were building the pyramid of power. That's what I call it, the pyramid of
Yeah.
power.
Yeah.
Now, with KK, they were saying that she was a co-conspirator, but she was never brought in. Neither were any of the security guards. You only brought in 2 of the escorts. So this whole case, to me, when they first brought it, it sounded like they got him for everything. When Damian Williams had the case and he came forth and said, we've unsealed an indictment for Sean Combs, da 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 da. They talked about minors in the videos. They talked about celebrities in the videos. They talked about all of this stuff. But when Damian Williams was sat down and Maureen Comey took over, this became a different case, and it was based off of Cassie's lawsuit. I could tell you that's all this case was based
And
on.
Little Rods.
And well, I'm not really, because they didn't ask about anybody from
Well,
Little
see,
Rod.
the reason I say about Little Rods is because they was trying to say that Rod made it clearly that guys would go get the prostitutes and bring them back. So just that alone kind of
You're
opens
right.
up the door. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, this is how the feds work, because it's how they work with us. As soon as they get something, they interviewing everybody. Once they seen those initial tapes that they grabbed, everybody on those tapes got interviewed. There are people who got interviewed that we will never know. That we will never know. So the thing is, they all that, a lot of stuff didn't come out because of the power
Exactly.
and Diddy being smart, having those tapes to expose people.
And you know what else? When you look at those charges, now I'm a person who's heard about RICO. I've watched, John Gotti get indicted and all those, mobsters get indicted on a RICO. So when I sat and I decided to go to this case, I wanted to understand it. So I actually went and sat down. I'm looking at the RICO. I'm understanding the 35 predicate offenses of a RICO. And I'm looking at the case and I'm like, well, how is the government applying this? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, so they're using this as a predicate for here. And I built a better RICO against him than what they finally charged. Because I'm like, all right, all we heard about was freak offs. Well, y'all didn't charge him with dealing in obscene matters. That would fall underneath the lines of a RICO because it's sex that's offensive to other people. Average everyday people aren't inflating swimming pools with baby oil and Astroglide and having sex in them. Like, that's not what average people do. But that's not what they did. And when you mentioned about his books, the crazy part about it is they actually showed us how his business was paying for the credit card that was paying for all of this stuff. So it's like the business was tied. So when you say the taxes weren't in there, I'm like, you're hitting it on the head. Because I'm like, why wasn't any of that brought in? Because that shows corruption in a legitimate business.
It was too many people that would have went down, and they had to do it a different way at that point, because it's too many people that was Diddy that had on tape that I'm sure that he said, and Diddy's smart, I'm sure, because if I was in that thing, I'm saying, listen, if y'all kill me, then all the tapes are gonna get released. I got somebody who's gonna release all the tapes. Y'all ain't gonna know who it is. So kill me if you want to. All the tapes will get released. This way here, he's protected. Because at the end of the day, listen, man, them politicians, they all want to party. The politicians' brothers, the politicians' cousins, they all want to party, man. Them white folks was partying more than black folks with Diddy. So, you know what I'm saying? All that was gonna come out. So they had to kind of maneuver this in a way. And the thing is, with a RICO, you can get all the money. Now you could take all his businesses. See, they can't do that now. You know, they can't in a RICO, you could take all the money from all the businesses. They can't do it now because the RICO charge didn't stick. But they tried. They tried. And like I said, all the RICO is the opportunity to bring in multiple people, knowing that the low people on the totem pole are gonna rat their fucking ass off. That's it.
I got a question for you. Go ahead.
What made you think what you think made them go at him in the first place, Ray?
I mean, come on, because he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire black man that flaunts black culture and streetness, and they don't want that in America. You can't do that.
But I'm saying he was doing these parties and doing all that for so many years. What you think made them come at the time they came? What actually transpired behind?
Well, I mean, it's just like the Epstein files. Things start getting leaked. The internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, believe me, you know, this internet is fucking a lot of people up. And you know, believe me, without the like, you know, because look, even with the Epstein files, I mean, you'd have to be a fucking imbecile to know that they are trying to hide shit, that people in high ups are involved with this shit, with them raping them and fucking with them little girls. We all know that. Listen, so whatever was unacceptable with Diddy on these tapes, he had Diddy. See, they only had Diddy's tapes, I think, since 2009. Diddy been doing this shit since like 95. Diddy been taping motherfuckers since in the 90s. So he had shit in the vaults ready to go. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? You brought up Epstein, and that's interesting because in both cases, they had multiple homes, but only selected homes were rated. The New York home was never rated. Epstein, his island was never rated. He had a home in New Mexico that was never rated. So it's like there's specific places in both of these cases where there's high profile people. When you look at both of these parties, they on the surface, they sound the same. You know what I'm saying? We didn't bring no minors into the case, so I have to say allegedly, according to rumors in the streets, that's what was going on. But it's basically the same party, probably the same people. So of course
we talking Leonardo DiCaprio,
right?
They can't have Leonardo DiCaprio. See, you got to understand one thing about the higher ups. They got their favorites. When they watch movies, they got their favorites. They're not gonna let nothing happen to Leonardo.
Over some niggers? Over some
Hell
niggers?
No.
Right. And then, look,
on
what you said, you said what you think what made them even lead to this. It's kind of funny, ironic that after he sued Ciroc, this nigga about to go down. You get what I'm saying?
I don't think that was it. I think that was just a pylon. Like, I think that might have been a little bit.
Playing with them, he can't be playing with them Jews. You know what I'm saying?
No, but look at though. But see, this is how I look at it though. Delagio and those companies is just one company. It's not. You know, one thing about these companies, they all don't fuck with each other. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You know, just one situation. You know, I just think that it was just time. It was just time. It was just his time, just like everybody else. When you look at the history, Mike Tyson, Mike Jackson, I mean, we can go on and on and on.
Bill Cosby.
Like, come on, like, you know what I'm saying? Now, again, you look at the ones who's kind of been clean. You look at the Denzels, you look at the Jay-Z's, you look at the Kanye, they ain't, you know, but the way I look at history, then I wouldn't be surprised if the future, their time's coming too. Whoever seems like they make it to the way, even Will Smith, look what happened to Will. What happened with Will these last couple of years.
Jay-Z up next, baby.
Like I said, you could have money, but your influence, I mean, to me, Black Panther, I don't know why he died. I don't care what nobody said. Like, what's homie's name that played Black Panther?
I forgot his name. I know he got a funny name.
What's his name? I can't hear y'all.
I don't know his name.
Hold on.
I know.
I forgot his name.
Okay. I think I gotta come back. Hold on.
Oh, Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick, yeah.
Chadwick Boseman.
Here are the first three.
You hear him, Ray?
He gotta. I guess he gotta go out and come back in.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman is his name.
He froze. Yeah, he froze.
YouTube streaming full effect. A public figure Boogie TV. Juice, aka Uncle Juice, aka the Beat Factory 313. Baby Doll So Raw, and my arch nemesis.
Oh, nigga, you almost forgot Uncle Juice's name. You forget names.
Yeah, because he was trying to hurry up and get to me so he could say
Yeah,
my
you
arch
so
nemesis.
Boogie, lately you been a shit starter, Boogie.
I was rushing to the insult, and I had to.
That's what you did. You see there? The Lord tied your tongue. The Lord.
Rushing. When you rush to the insult, I was. Finish your point, Benzino.
No, what I was saying was, who's the guy that played Black Panther?
Chadwick Boseman.
All right. I just think going for Chadwick Boseman just dying like that. Now, I know conspiracy theories and everything, but it's like, his influence, I don't think they even knew. They said, okay, we're going to give black people their own superhero, Black Panther. I don't think they knew it was going to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they knew Wakanda was going to empower us the way it did. And I think when it did, I think they said, this is just how I think, man. Like, I think his influence was so off the chain that I don't know. Like, all of a sudden, he just had a disease and died like this.
Yeah. Instantly. Right.
He didn't even make Black Panther 2. Like,
no. Because it was waking the people up on a metaphysical level. There was a lot of metaphysical metaphors in it that was speaking to people, and it was waking us up. It was shaking it up. So yeah, they had to do away with that.
There was a lot of medical
metaphysical. Look it up.
First of all, keep the big words under 2 syllables and all that.
Why don't you go get a dictionary and keep it next to you?
Now, Benzino, we got to ask you this because you was an insider. You've been on that level with the insiders. When you get to that level, like a Puff Daddy, Jay-Z, now they make you have a handler. Do they make you have a handler?
You know,
they put somebody over you.
So look, I can say this. When me and Dave had the Source, and I'd say probably the 2000s, and when we was at our peak of making money, we was making a few million a month off of advertisement. I mean, it was just, the record. I had an album deal that was like, they gave me 800. I mean, it was just a lot of money coming in from a lot of places, right? So I'd say our peak. Now that lasted about 4 or 5 years, that particular shit. So I'd say our peak, right? There was times where people would, because me and Dave's relationship at the Source was kind of like this. The whole time at the Source, my 18 years at the Source, I never had an office ever. Like, you know what I mean? We had a huge staff, 60 to 80 people, you know what I'm saying? Maybe so. Like, my thing is, Dave was more administrative, where I'd be out in the world. I'm out all around the country, you know what I'm saying? Like, with just putting the face of the Source in the streets, the face of hip hop. So I just didn't, he would have meetings with certain people, and I wouldn't, like the Leo Cohens of the world and Russell Simmons and all these big guys, I knew them and they knew me, but Dave would meet with him. And I never forget that, he was going to this one meeting. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to go. You know what I'm saying? I used to travel with a bunch of guys, and we was in New York. And so Dave went to the meeting. We probably went somewhere, ate, or went to the crib. We had a crib in Jersey. So I just know that he would go to certain meetings with people. Like, people would try, I think. And, Dave would kind of come back and just inform me about the meetings and shit. And I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would just brush it off. Like, I was in my wild state back then. So I wasn't necessarily paying attention to that shit. If a nigga was gonna press up, I had a big crew that we wasn't gonna allow it. And if it was gonna be some war shit, then we done had situations where we had to go to war. So, anytime you making money, you know what I'm saying, you gotta make sure you gotta have a crew. And we had that. But it seemed like me and Dave was like the villains the whole time, because they really didn't want me around Dave. People didn't understand our relationship. They thought I was extorting Dave. When I got indicted, I was looking at a RICO. It was extortion, money laundering, 2 bodies in Boston. It was crazy. That shit went on for 2 years, and then I got indicted. What I did get indicted for was tax evasion. Now, me and Dave went through a lot at the Source, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I know I know, Bob Johnson, before we lost everything, Bob Johnson had offered us $55 million. Now, Bob Johnson had sold BET at that time for like $3 billion. At that time, that was like the richest accusation. He was one of the richest black men. His wife got a big portion of that or whatever. But he flew me and Dave to DC and offered us $55 million. At the time, we had owed $30 million to the bank. So we turned it down because our thing was if we can get the value up to 80 million, 75, 80, then we could take it public. And then we'd never have to look back. And, it was probably valued at 65. We probably had one more year of going hard, but, the Eminem beef and, they took out a huge loan Dave took out a huge loan to try to do source.com. It was too early and it crashed. And, we went through a lot, we made some mistakes, but as far as like that type of, I don't think we ever made it there. And even if we made it to that, I think they looked at me as so street, like I was really, really street. Like in New York, there still was a protocol. And I don't think the whole time, even I was with the Source, maybe towards the end, I had my business hat on. But at the beginning, I just don't think that they was accepting me in the industry. I think it was always like people didn't know who Benzino was, and it was always misconceptions about me. But I don't think people really accepted me as an industry guy or somebody in the industry who's successful. Like, there was all people was thinking all kinds. Then after the Eminem beef, then that was it. It was like, it's crazy.
Okay, I got you. So listen, Young Thug came. He didn't beat it. I'm going to say he beat the indictment.
A plea deal. He didn't beat that.
I'm going to say he beat it.
No,
he took one of the most illest probationary. Man.
Yeah, I'm going to say he beat it because anytime you're at the top of an indictment like that, when everybody's pointing their fingers at you saying that you are the lead orchestrator of whatever calamity is happening underneath you, to get probation after spending a year and a half locked up for the shit that he was being charged with, that's like beating that motherfucker.
He would have beat it. If he would have took it to trial, he would have beat it. I guarantee you.
Yeah, so I'm saying he beat it, even though we know that he didn't. I'm saying he beat it because anytime you can come off of that with some no prison time.
No, he's very fortunate.
That's beating that motherfucker. My thing, so listen. So you spoke of conspiracy and being a conspiracy theorist of sorts.
Right.
He all but beat it. He's released back into the world. His only listen. He's more upset about not being able to come back to Atlanta than he is about being on 45,000 years of probation.
Right.
I think he's more upset about the Atlanta restriction than anything else.
Right.
Because that's his playground. Miami's, LA, those are not his playgrounds.
Right.
So they couldn't get him that way. We did some research. Uncle Juice tapped it in. I made a phone call. We tapped it in too. So people are saying, well, how did these calls get released into the public? We've discovered that in the state of Georgia, a prisoner's jail phone calls are a matter of public record after the trial is complete.
Yeah.
And you can file a petition to get a person's jail call logs.
Anybody could get them.
Right.
Yeah.
Just have your cash app ready.
Yeah, so my thing is, so that really kind of like took the sting out of the government conspiring to out him or to embarrass him.
Well, I don't know. See, look at. I'm gonna be honest. When you look at Atlanta and Fannie Willis and everything, like
Fannie a gangster.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like the way they play like how niggas out here is playing.
Yeah.
So, right. So I think it was the government that leaked it.
Mm-hmm.
I think because, believe it or not, the government, the feds, everybody has a communications department that just deals with social media, right? And,
they do.
And they have a staff of a few people of nerds that deal with just social media. Like, when you down here in Atlanta, I mean, the fucking mayor is at every hip hop concert. Like, it really is some crazy shit down here. It's like, so Fannie and them in the prosecution, listen, one of the lawyers is having a baby by one of the YSL members. I mean, this thing is a 6 degrees of separation down here as far as the streets and politics and
right.
So
it's one and the same.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I don't. I'm almost certain. I'm almost certain that the government is leaking these.
Yeah, so let me say this about that, and I'm gonna let everybody else chime in. So when I discovered we did research last night, I made a phone call and I said, matter of public record, something I never knew in Georgia. It's a one-off, right? So then I said,
I told you that though.
Stop bragging about giving us information, Henny.
But you wanted to tell me it wasn't true. But go ahead, continue.
How are you gonna how are you gonna insult me with the sexy voice?
I didn't.
I told you. So
it wasn't.
So listen, so what Benzino just chimed in, he said, and yes, he did say it before. So it's not a stretch to say, hey, listen, we couldn't get this son of a bitch like we wanted to get him, but we can destroy his public image. And to that point, who better? So listen, who would have ever thought to do something like that? And right, who understood the value of what his phone calls were, other than or better than the actual government, the police, the prosecutor, the DA? They understood that there was some damaging information in those phone logs. They understood that.
Well, they're trying to. They know the stipulations of his probation, and they really are trying to bait him to fuck that up. They want him to say some crazy shit or get involved with some crazy shit, and I hope he's smarter than that. To me, if I was advising him, I would stay the fuck off the internet for the next year.
Why didn't he? Why panel? Why didn't he? Listen, he came home, and a major point of emphasis for him was to let the
he wanted to destroy Gunner.
That Gunner is a rat. Here, listen, sometimes we can be so preoccupied with trying to destroy somebody. J.O.
You destroy yourself.
It's funny that you say that because I told
you destroy yourself.
Like when you speak out for some bullshit to ruin somebody, it's gonna backfire. It always backfire.
Hey,
I just said that.
Yes, you did.
So voila, magic, nigga.
He was so preoccupied with trying to destroy Gunner. He was upset at Gunner's initial success when he came home and he went triple platinum and sold out every arena from the Barclays to fucking Vegas. He was so upset with that instead of focusing on himself, right, that he went head first in trying to call him out. And somebody made a point earlier where I says that, like, I think we're focused on the wrong thing when it comes to, and I think when we say we're focused on the wrong thing, we are even still not focused when it comes to that. Listen, you come home and so what we have millionaires who are preoccupied with trying to destroy other millionaires and to use their power and influence and their friendships to destroy you. Young Thug, a millionaire. Gunner, a millionaire. You had one millionaire who was so instead of focusing on what made him a millionaire, he didn't focus on music. He didn't focus on no facet of entertainment. He was focused on trying to discredit this guy. Hey, just in case you ain't figured it out, Thug, the world don't give a fuck about ratting for real. It's only us niggas in the ghetto who give a fuck about.
I'm glad you brought that up. And you know, because I always try to put myself in somebody else's shoes theory. And I get it. Like, you know, Thug, when it first happened, you know, Gunner was one of the first ones that they grabbed, right? And, you know, again, you know, I try to put myself in people's shoes. And now I'm in Thug's shoes right now. This is the very beginning of the trial. And the very first guy that they're bringing up, and this was calculated on the prosecutor. And this is how they get us. They divide us like a motherfucker. They knew to get Gunner. Everything was cool with Thug and Gunner when they went in. You know what I'm saying? But Thug knew that somewhere Thug had to know that you know, Gunner is the breadwinner right now. You know what I'm saying? So at least if Gunner get out. But I'm sure that they wasn't together in the cell. So when Gunner did what he did, and this is what Gunner did, and we have to, come on, everybody even though like nobody cares, I'm just saying put yourself in Thug's shoes at the moment. When he heard that Gunner, when they said is YSL a gang, it seemed like they asked Gunner first. This was the first thing. And he said yes. That shot a dagger through Thug's heart. You gotta understand that. People have to understand it, because in Thug's eyes, Thug's like, God damn, why'd you say that? Because at the end, once you say that, then that's the open door. It's cracked. He didn't, it's not like he just, hung him. But once you say that, and once the top nigga on the label establishes it at a gang, well, now the prosecutor can go right in as a gang. And I know Thug wasn't, obviously he didn't know Gunna was gonna do that, obviously. So people gotta put yourself in his fucking shoes, like that surprised him. And that shocked him. So now I'm sure once that happened, the miscommunication was fucked up because maybe Gunna could have somehow, I know they wasn't able to talk to each other, but through the lawyers, a communication could have been, look, let me just get out here. Maybe Gunna did. One thing I noticed about young niggas do not know how to communicate other than street shit and what they're doing, street shit or hip hop shit. When it comes to communication, like real communication that should have took place after Gunna did that, Gunna probably didn't even know how to approach Thug after that. And the miscommunication got worse and worse till once the public got it, it was already fucked up. So, I mean, let's all, it's easy to throw darts, but try to put your shoes and try to put your feet in Thug's shoes at that moment when he's in jail. And the first thing he heard, the very first, was Gunna just fucking said that the thing was a gang. That wasn't planned. So, it's easy to say, damn, Thug was mad. But I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I would have been pissed too. Like, this is what they do though. This is why Rico fucks us up, because it is meant for niggas to fuck each other over. Friends, family.
Yeah.
So, Thug was disappointed and fucked up after that. Now, how he handled it, obviously, we're listening to the tapes. Now, when you listen, let me tell y'all something. I've been in this game 40-some years. I've been around some of the most incrediblest producers and artists you can ever think of. Done features. I mean, the biggest guys you could think of. 99% of these niggas' conversation only be about industry shit. Niggas don't talk politics. Niggas don't talk about their families. All niggas talk about, and this is before the shade room, before internet, all niggas would grab the source and look through it. All niggas talk, niggas when in those studios, when you're in the studio or in the hotels, or when these are their peers. All they talking about is each other. So it's not uncommon for motherfuckers to talk about, man, well, shit, he's on the charts and that's all these niggas do is talk about that. So when Thug's saying that, I'm not even tripping on that. I'm more pissed off is how come nobody is saying that this shit is so unconstitutional for your private conversation to go through a fucking system to come back out for the public to hear. How come there's no civil rights lawyers or anything challenging this? Because to me, there is no more worse violation of somebody's fucking rights than that. So, I'm not, with the shit he's saying, this is common practice. You could guarantee that every motherfucker, every actor, every rapper, everything is sitting in the studio talking about some gossip over another actor or rapper. That shit is common.
Yeah. And so listen, that's why in the YouTube streets, we've been critical of him to an extent, but we all recognize that, hey, these are this man's personal thoughts. So, and we know that we have our own like I hated Baby Doll. So my personal thoughts about her is fuck her. I don't like Juice. Juice is an asshole, right? I don't like Boogie. Of course, everybody knows I don't like fucking Boogie. And Henny, I talk about her. Me and Boogie talk about Henny behind her back all the time.
But it's hypocritical, Face, because you know what? Everybody that be in these comments, that be talking shit, everybody in the comments that be talking shit is loving this shit. So that's being hypocritical.
They loving
it.
See,
They loving this more than the music.
But that's true. But I could say for me, the thing that was bothersome was that interrogation room audio. That was more like, dang, bro, you gave them your phone number?
Well, hold on. Let me say for that. Now, let me say with this, all right? You got to understand, like, in these streets, right, these people, these feds and everything, they trying to be real slick with it, like when they talk to you. Motherfuckers can throw them the fuck off, right? You got to be slick. You can throw them off. If you ain't on the stand and point nobody out or whatever, like the shit that Thug said, I listened to that shit maybe 15, 20 times when he was in the back of the car about Woody and them. To me, that was a throw off. Like, he wasn't saying, yeah, Woody shot the nigga, killed the nigga. He's throwing niggas off. Like, I get it. I know how it sounds because it happened with me and my nephew. It was the same shit. The same shit Thug going through, I went through with me and my nephew. When my nephew shot me at going to my mother's funeral, right? So I'm going to my mother's funeral. This is when Love and Hip Hop. Now, prior to that, how that happened was some shit happened where my mother's house credit loans had been taken out. I found out about it, but I'm not thinking about hurting anybody or hurting my family. Obviously, he must have been thinking different. All right. When I went up there, I went to the wake and I wanted to go to see my mother. I went early, see my mother, and then I was flying back to Atlanta. All right. I wasn't going to the funeral because I felt something. I felt something wasn't right. And I wasn't gonna have all this madness at my mother's funeral. Now, my nephew, I brought him up. This is my first nephew. He wanted to be a DJ like me. I did everything for him, took care of him. All right. He's never had a felony. So as things go on, I'm getting ready to leave to fly back. I get a call from Stevie. Now, my mother's Cape Verdean. Cape Verdean people live out in the Cape. The Cape is an hour away from Boston. She was going to be buried out in the Cape. Now, mind you, I wasn't going to the funeral. This was Saturday. I was leaving Sunday morning, flying out, got my ticket. The funeral was going to be Sunday. Stevie called me, said, hey, I'm out here. What you doing out here? I'm out in Plymouth because I was going to your mother's funeral. I want to surprise you. I said, I ain't going. He said, what's the matter? I said, yeah, it's just too much. He said, damn, I took a cab out here like hour away. I said, well, sit there and I'm going to come get you. So I drove out there. As I'm driving out there, it's Route 3, the whitest highway you can imagine. Now, again, this is Plymouth County. Plymouth is where the Rock is. Remember Malcolm X? Plymouth Rock didn't land on us. We landed. That's where it all started. The Pilgrims and everything. You can imagine how white this county is. All right. They drove. I'm driving. I see a funeral procession. It's only a two lane. I'm on the left. Right. I'm driving, and I see the procession. I'm like, oh shit! I wonder if this is my sure enough. I'm looking at all the cars, bunch of Cape Verdean people. As I pull up, next thing I hear shot. Pop, 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 pop. So I'm hit. Now I've been shot before, you know what I'm saying? So I'm at this point, I'm like trying to get out of the, I'm trying to like get out of the way of the shots because they just kept coming. So I'm on the highway and I kind of 180'd it and I came back and then I crashed into a tree because my arm gave out. Now I knew I didn't get shot in my chest because I kept breathing. So I felt like, cool, I'm good. I can jumped out the car and I'm running. It's a true story. I go to the hearse. And all I remember was a finger locking the hearse, right? I don't remember. I couldn't even know who it was. I just remember the finger locking the hearse. Then I went down a couple of cars, and my cousins, I jumped in, my Auntie Geneva's daughters, and they're screaming. I'm bleeding all over the place. I said, you got to go over the median and go the other way because the exits are far. So they finally did it. They were scared. These ain't street people. So they were scared. I'm driving there. At that moment, my nephew called the police. He was the first one to make the call. It's in the paperwork. And said, I just shot a man. And he said who I was. Now, I got a bad reputation in Boston. I left years ago. And he said I had a gun. By the time when we got off the exit to go to the hospital, I got pulled over by state troopers. Now it's raining. They pulled me out the car, stripped me naked. Naked. And said, where's the gun? And at that point, I lost about 3 pints of blood. I just remember now, they said, where's the gun? It was like, yeah, he said that, the guy said that, he said, I don't know if he said my nephew, I don't know what he said, but I do remember he said you had a gun. I said, no, he shot me. I said, I'm the one who shot. You know what I'm saying? So we got into the ambulance, went to the hospital. Again, when they came, see, and I know the system. See, I know it has to go to a grand jury. It don't fucking matter what you say to a cop or a detective. I know niggas that said shit on murder cases and flipped it inside the courtroom on the stand on their ass. So you got to have some sense. So I knew I had to go to the grand jury, and I knew I wasn't gonna snitch on my nephew, but I'm still trying to see what the fuck he's saying about me. So When it came time for the grand jury, he made some statements. I made some statements before that. When I went to the grand jury, that's the witness, that's the jury that's going to be at the trial. Now, the prosecutor, they got 7 other witnesses because he shot me on a funeral procession, broad daylight, 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a crowded highway. There were people that, I mean, this was a major thing. People watched the whole thing. So there was 7, 8 other witnesses. I don't know who they was. When they pulled me in the grand jury, I was in there and I said, I don't know what happened. And that's again in the paperwork. I said, I don't know who shot me. And they're pissed off at me. They're like, wait a minute, because again, they want the victory. The prosecutors is like, this is easy. We're gonna get attempted murder. Below the belt, you get shot below the belt in Massachusetts, attempted a shot with a deadly weapon. Above the belt, attempted murder. You do at least 15 to 20 in Massachusetts. Plymouth County, forget about it. So now, after that, I thought it was done. I went, I didn't say nothing, boom, it's done. Now they going to trial. They said I had to come to court. I said, I'm not coming into court. I already invoked my fifth, and I said I didn't know who shot me. They said, if you don't come, you're going to get 6 months contempt of court. I said, all right. So I grabbed my father, grabbed my guy. We went up there. He's sitting right there in front of me with his lawyer, with this fat bitch, Rosemary. And they said, do you see anybody in court? No, I don't. It took 5 minutes, and then I got the fuck out of there. All right. And he walked on that case. He didn't get 15, 20 years. They gave him 18 months because he got charged with shooting on a crowded dwelling, on a public dwelling, where there was 7, 8 other witnesses said that he was shooting because he could have hit anybody on the highway. But as far as attempted murder or the charge from me, not at all. So when people try to use that Zeno snitch, I wouldn't give a fuck what they said. I saved my nephew. That was a family situation. It got out of control. But in that situation, I said things to the detectives as he said things. But none of that counts. It's in front of the grand jury and it's in front of the thing. And I don't know if Thug knew that or not, but at the end of the day, that didn't fuck up anything. When Woody got on the stand for Thug, Woody shook the motherfuckers up so much, Thug would have walked. You know what I'm saying? They was playing with them people. And that's how you got to do it. Now, when you want to stand and you pointing, him. When you in the grand jury, yes, he shot me. That's snitching. So, you know, and I'm not trying to stick up for Thug. I'm just saying
we get you. Like having see people. So you have people who've never been who've never been who've never been set across from a judge and a jury with their life on the line, who are trying to define what snitching is and what snitching ain't. You can never talk to the police. Hey, sometimes you can be in trouble or thought to be in trouble, and the kind of conversation that you have can throw law enforcement off. It's not just about if you say anything, that means you're throwing somebody under the bus. That is so not true and such not an accurate statement, right? And then the people who are saying this kind of shit, like the whack 100s of the world, whack 100 gonna tell them.
But they doing that for content. See, these niggas, see this type of content. This is the biggest type of snitching that you could ever do. When niggas sit back and talk about cases all day, there's no more bigger snitching than that to me. Because you don't think the feds is looking at all this shit? There's so many motherfucking internet detectives. And my thing is this, right? This is my thing about the whole snitching thing with all these niggas who want to expose snitches. Let's say somebody did snitch. Alpo was running around New York. Niggas wasn't fucking with Al. Sammy the Bull Gravano still living his life. You know what I'm saying? Whitey Bulger, the biggest fucking rat, was on a fucking run for 35. Listen, all these niggas that be talking about the snitching, they ain't gonna do nothing to him. So my thing is, what is the end game of exposing a snitch? Because like you said, women don't give a fuck. Chicks don't care. So it's not gonna fuck up their pussy. It didn't fuck up 6ix9ine's money. And I'm not, see, I come from that code. But back then, snitches would get killed. Back in the mob days, if you snitch, you got killed. Nowadays, snitches is all part of the game. Now there's so many
snitches go and make records now. They make albums.
They got a network. They got a network of C1 informants the feds do that there is more snitches now that I'm sure than there is criminals at this point right now.
The
Yeah, I
crazy thing
believe
is you
that.
making a valid point because earlier I was live on my Instagram and I was talking about how, on TikTok, the youngins are out here. They're like, well, if we letting Thug slide, bring 6ix9ine back. So I'm looking at his numbers. I came to YouTube. I'm looking at his numbers and I'm like, 1.9 billion, 100 and something million, like the views on his stuff. I'm like, nah, he never went nowhere. Like,
On who
even though
page? Who
that's
page?
the
Who page?
illusion,
Jimmy? Who
this
page,
on
Jimmy?
6ix9ine
Welcome to
page,
the
his
internet.
music still
Welcome to the
still
internet.
popping. I'm like, now when I was coming up, because I'm a 78 baby, I'm a 70s baby.
Damn.
I know you lying. You ain't saying damn.
Why you do that, dog? You couldn't
Ain't
resist.
nothing matter with that. That's the
I
shit.
wear it very well, thank
That's
you.
the
We
shit.
all 70 babies, Andy.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm
But
an 80s baby. I'm an 80s baby. I'm an
Well,
80s
you
baby.
right there with us, because what you 81, 82?
Yeah.
86, almost
Okay.
86.
Okay.
Still,
Okay.
you within that 10-year gap. You right on over here with me. Come on, have
She's
a
a
seat.
millennial.
Come on over, have a seat.
But
Hey, look, I'm happy. I'll be 40 next year. I'm proud. You hear
Y'all
me?
see the baby? Y'all see the baby ain't saying nothing over there.
Yeah, motherfucker.
It's okay, Boogie. You ain't gotta say nothing.
But look, when it
I
comes,
got you. But back in the day, we didn't let that
Here y'all
slide.
go.
Go ahead.
Not
Go
even
ahead.
as an artist. You couldn't come back as an artist back in the day, especially if you was out here. Imagine MOP going out here and talking to police and all this other stuff. They didn't never can. You
It'd be
couldn't talk
done.
this
It'd been
talk
done.
You're right.
and come back. Now they can. And I feel like the younger generation, we were talking about this earlier. I feel like the more we got into the technology, the less value, code, moral, ethic, empathy, compassion, community, all of that left. And now it's just every man for themselves, and whatever we deem is cool to do today is
Because
still
you
going to
can't
be
get
cool
that
tomorrow.
off this
But
phone.
to be honest, it's all about who's teaching the kids. If you look out here, look how many niggas out here telling and then making excuses on or trying to make their own code on what's telling and what's
trying to
not telling.
justify.
Trying to justify. As far as it's just more of like you tell he'll say, oh, this not me telling because I'm doing it this way, or because I didn't say it's like I just had a situation. I'm trying to say it right. It was a situation where the guy called me and he's like, I'm about to Jay O'Neill. He calls me, say, you know what? I got something to tell you, but you're gonna laugh at me. He was take down a post on him and all his homeboys, or I'm taking the dick pics that he sent to the police. You get what I'm saying? So it fucked me up because I'm like, wait a minute.
Hold on, he been saving men's dick pics and shit on his phone and shit.
Right.
I told this nigga, I said, Jay, it's been 2 years, nigga. Why now are you choosing to want to go to the police about some dick pics, And he said, no, he just sent me one. So, but it's a couple of us just taking our dick pics that he sent, and we're gonna try to. He didn't say. He said, I want to get him on the sex offender list. So so that's what makes it okay for him to snitch, because he been tearing my name down. He been coming for my peoples. He came on Cooper Street, all this bullshit. But you just put out paperwork saying Dogface was a snitch, where if you read the paperwork, anybody read that shit, you could tell. It says clear and dated, Dogface is not a snitch. He just denied the allegations that the man said towards him. He lied. So that don't make him a snitch. But then you turn around and counteract and say, I am telling. I don't give a fuck, bitch. I'm telling. I want him to be on a sex offender list. And then
that's
now it's but I'm like, that's some bitch shit. That's snitch shit. You know what I'm saying? That's some
people
bitch
are sitting
shit.
back laughing at us. They're laughing at us on how this shit is affecting us. This shit is so ridiculous and so fucking stupid. Because first of all, you should never merge the streets with social media. I don't know how to like that. That right there is, once you merge the streets, then to me it's not the streets anymore. Once you merge street business to this, it ain't the streets no more. So you know what I'm saying? So like, people, the problem is people are taking their street shit and putting it on here because that's all they got, and that's what they get attention from. You know, we didn't want our street shit televised like that
Right.
because you know we don't want our bodies, we don't want our problems, our beefs, we don't want to show our monies and like all. I mean, to me, the feds don't have to do shit. But just get 2 rooms full of motherfuckers with computers and just watch niggas
That's all,
social
that's,
Yeah.
media.
that's
But
all
that's
we
what they
That's because
do.
everybody want attention.
So listen,
And
Everybody
y'all
want
wonder why the
attention.
kids ain't got don't
right.
even
So
understand because you got
I'm a lightning rod, not just in Detroit, but probably across the country, right? So a motherfucker in Detroit told me, he was like, don't want to see me shine at all. So motherfucker told me, motherfucker said, Benzino, motherfucker told me, like, nigga, you don't sell dope. You ain't no street nigga. You don't sell dope. You no real nigga. I said, what? I said, my nigga, if I did sell dope, I wouldn't come on social media and say I sold dope.
and
Right.
tell them myself.
Dude.
I'm not no nigga. What? I say, so in your mind, I'm not a real nigga because I don't sell dope. I ain't moving work. Is that what you saying? Like, yeah, you ain't in the street for real? Nigga, you been in the street for 25 years and you don't have shit.
And I bet you they'll get up on one of these podcasts and self-snitch on themselves. Because that's what everybody seems
You
to
just
be
gotta
doing
pray
now.
for them
They
niggas. You
go
gotta
to
get
an
away from
interview
them
telling.
niggas. You gotta get away and pray for them niggas. Because you gotta get away from them type niggas. Because to be honest with you, in 2025 and moving forward, you really gonna have to separate yourself from this ignorance.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that shit, honestly, because it's to the point now where it's just too much, like, you know what I mean? Like for real, because that's what I do. I don't like when I don't even sit and debate with niggas and anymore. I just, you know what I'm saying? I
Self-sabotage.
shut the fuck up and keep it moving, man. For
Yeah,
real.
and I'm glad you said that because we've been talking for quite some time now. But Benzino, you have been in headlines news
Right.
a couple of times in the last couple of months.
Yep.
What the fuck is your problem? You don't know how to play well with others, Benzino?
Shit, man. I don't know. You know, with me is like again, it's hard coming from where we come from without the internet and trying to adapt to the new way of disrespect and the new way of how the internet is. Now I've come a long way. I've done a lot better. I still got a lot way to go. But I know how to maneuver this now too. You know, I don't take shit too much to heart. The shit that people want to the shit that people want to like, you know, like when you have their platforms, they want to go for the low hanging fruit. You know, I think what people need to understand is this is all done through advertisement, and I think when people want to go for the low hanging fruit type content, I don't think they understand their full potential of what they could get if they started doing meaningful content. You know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers will sit on here and just talk a bunch of bullshit street shit and dumb shit and ignorant shit all day. And yeah, you get a few dollars from it, but imagine what you could get if you was to just put some real thought into, you know what I'm saying? And it's just and honestly, a lot of the shit that's on here on the internet, I don't pay attention to it.
It's all
You know what I'm
fake
saying?
anyway.
I just
But
don't.
see, that's kind of a good point because that's the space where I'm in right now. Because I found myself getting caught up in some of this, and I'm like, I don't even want to do this. Like, this is stupid. This is dumb. I don't do this. I'll read court documents and stuff like that, but I want to do something else that leaves a mark that's impactful. Like, I don't want to be out here just talking about, because honestly, I was in that sector of whack and all of that. And I'm like, I don't want to do that because I started feeling like, well, just by exposing him lying is like me third party snitching because I'm still running a narrative that he's running.
What does
But
anybody get? My thing is, Mama.
you
So
wasn't
look,
getting anything
Henny,
from it.
what do you get?
Uh,
Like my thing is, what is the reward from that? Like I'm thinking, what, like this type of content, what is the end results of the reward? Like what is, or if not even the reward, what is the, I guess
the game. The game
yeah,
of
like the gain. Thank you, thank you.
And at that point, for me, it was because I saw him as a piranha. Like, you're out here pushing narratives and creating a culture that's influencing people. So I was trying to be like, nah, what he's doing is lying to y'all, and he'll give you a little bit of truth and blow it up. So that's what I was doing. Like, don't go down. But I found myself being sucked into that slowly but surely. The more that I kept going, and I was like, hold on, that's not even what my channel was about. I get these celebrity court docs. I go and read and figure out what this means and all. And I come break them court docs down for the people. I interview interview people. That's
dope.
the type of content that I do. I don't want to get caught up in that. So I'm kind of like restructuring and rebranding myself and kind of trying to push that out of my algorithm so that I could start fresh. Cause yeah, to me, I was like, this is childish to me. I'm a grown ass woman.
Wait, come on. I got kids. I got grandkids now. So it's like what? Okay, again, and dog. And I go back to Dogface point. Motherfuckers don't really care. Like, okay, entertainment really is. Women when it comes to guys, and I guess women too. Women are the biggest fans of entertainment. I know there's a lot of guys too, so I just don't want to kind of generalize. But I'm just saying, women do not give a fuck about this. Of course it's good for the blogs and everything and for people to comment, listening to the conversations and shit like that. But on the most part, nobody gave a fuck if Gunna gave a fuck what Gunna did, because people seen how Gunna came out, got in the gym, stayed positive, stayed quiet. People get a kick out of that. People are turned on from that. They want to see people go, because we're all fucked up. We're all broken. People want to see people fix themselves. Because people
some
want to be
motivational
fixed.
shit.
Some
motivational shit.
Hurt people.
Hey, Benzino. Hey, but that sounds slick, Benzino. But you ain't no stranger to lighting the fire up on the motherfucker ass.
I mean, you got to sometimes. You know what I mean? You got to. Because I'm not. Listen, when you get 60, there's no gray area with me, and it's like, man, I don't want to. I like to just say the facts. I don't want to get on and to be always having to defend myself for some stupid ass shit. I just want to
I almost thought you was a grumpy old man, dog. I'm like, this nigga always mad.
So what you got to tell Detroit now? You back in Detroit. You got to let Detroit know what was going on with you and Eminem, because they read that wrong. Some people
still.
Yeah, because they felt. They felt we let outsider. They felt Detroit let an outsider come in and disrespect another Detroiter. So
let me say this: I become my first flight was with a ball was for my nuts full of dog food in '86. I flew with YBI. And I did that for almost 4 years back and forth from Detroit. YBI. So 86 was my first time in Detroit with Pep and them, with YBI, right? I was a young nigga, and Pep had a crew in Detroit and a crew in Boston. When you come to Boston, you could sell it 3 times more. So niggas would set up shop in Boston, Detroit, New York. When Pep came with a bunch of shout out to Pep and all the YBI niggas, he came and set up shop. And you know what I'm saying? This was years. And I started fucking with Detroit. Shit. Like I said, 86. And and to the point where, I know a lot of Detroit niggas who was killed in Boston, killed in Detroit. Boston niggas killed in. I mean, we got a whole story. Now, when the Eminem shit was going on, I never said none of that, because Pep and them, I didn't want to, if there was any open shit that could fuck niggas up. So I didn't say shit. Like, one thing about that thing with Eminem, it really was just about hip hop. Like, it really was. I said something on a mixtape, and then he came back with a mixtape. I just so happened to be with the Source magazine. It had nothing to do with Detroit, because as far as I'm concerned, I didn't look at him like he was from Detroit. See, I knew the real niggas in Detroit. I fucked with, rest in peace, Yacht, the Cheddar Boys, Juan. I fucked with all those dudes one way or the other. I put the Street Lords in the Source. I did that. Like, I was doing, you know what I'm saying? These are things that I didn't have to, felt like I had to say I did, because it was just I never was the one to be like, oh yeah, I fuck with YBI. Oh yeah, I never did that back then. I fuck with a lot of niggas. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I didn't have to do that. Like, I didn't need clout or nothing. Like, I was getting money with these niggas. So when the Eminem shit came out, it wasn't, I never felt like it was me against Detroit, because I never looked at him as Detroit. Because Detroit, I mean, let's keep it 100, right? Detroit might be, well, at least back then, probably.
Damn, he lied.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. This is the YouTube.
Hold on.
Public
we're not doing that.
Boogie.
No. We got a question for you in the chat right now.
For who? What question is that?
They said, don't Dogface have a boxing match?
Baby Doll's my press secretary. I'm gonna let her handle that.
Actually, at this moment, no one is willing to take the stand to fight Dogface. We have no
Baby
opponent.
True said he'll fight me though.
Baby True
Okay.
is playing. He's
Y'all
bullshitting.
go find somebody for him to fight. Go, y'all go press 600. I want to see you fight 600 because I know you'll whoop his ass.
Beat that bitch slow, lethargic ass.
Did you just see him fight that motherfucker?
Dog face.
He took a knee.
I can see how I
He
feel
quit.
about
That motherfucker quit.
I can
What's
see,
your baby
That
dog?
motherfucker quit.
Baby dog, what you say?
No, I was just waiting for Benzino to come back in and just ask him. So you telling me because you got money with Detroit niggas that was okay? I understand that he did that with Eminem as he say hip hop. Nah, nigga, that was a disrespect. That was so disrespect. I was one of them people that feel some motherfucking type of way, like you disrespect our city, and I feel like that he gonna feel the same way if it was the other way around.
Here we go.
My man, the person that's back. Look, Benzino, I was just telling them when I was one of them people, you get what I'm saying, that feel some type of way, like you did just come to our city and disrespect us. You get what I'm saying? I understand your beef with Eminem, but sometimes it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You should have. My thing is, even though you don't feel like he's from Detroit, still his business in Detroit, and to let somebody just it's not even about Eminem. It was a respect thing. It was very distasteful and disrespectful, Benzino, what you
I
did.
think
That's all.
I hear you. No, listen, and like I could understand that, right? But what this is what killed me about it. It's like when I went to Mom Spaghetti, because you gotta understand, me and Eminem, I mean, this is 20 years of this shit, 22 years of Eminem. 22
sorry.
years of this shit. Like, and to be honest, Eminem came back at me. Like he made that, I guess he made the song, I forgot what it was, whatever, where he mentioned my daughter, right? So again, he could have been from Houston, he could have been from New York, he could have been from whoever. I'm going at who goes at me. I don't give a fuck what city he's from. I'm going at who
I'm
goes at
just
me.
saying.
Now,
But
now, now, now. The thing was, I know for a fact. See, I never felt like it was a big thing because when I was in Detroit, I'm with mad niggas. I got mad family and niggas in Detroit. Now I know how it looks because of social media, but I never felt like I was in any type of danger or any type of issues because I'm fucking with the realest niggas in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, I know the optics and how it looked, but to me, in my world, this is me and Eminem. And I never even looked at Eminem as Detroit. And then as we're going on and where I'm going, as I'm in Detroit, niggas is like, fuck Eminem. They was like, Eminem ain't did nothing for us. Eminem ain't repping us. I was there for a week. And I had been there before that. And I always get this. And everywhere I go, it's like, man, I fuck with you, Zeno. Fuck Eminem. Because my thing is, Detroit is one of the blackest cities, the greatest cities for black
Dang.
people. You know what I'm saying? So for a white man to be the face of it, I always felt a certain way. And I wasn't even born in that motherfucker, but I always felt a certain way. So a lot of niggas in Detroit felt that way. When Detroit, the young niggas finally got their own sound, it was like, thank God. Because now history will show that Eminem wasn't that nigga of Detroit. Because
Thank
now
you.
the
Man,
young niggas got their own sound. They don't need Eminem. They didn't need him in the first place. He didn't do shit for the young niggas in
he
Detroit.
didn't open the
but
doors for
He
niggas.
never opened the doors.
And they
He
don't
kept
need
it.
that
He
fucking
kept it to a
spaghetti.
select. He kept it to a select group of niggas who wasn't even really what Detroit streets was about. So I, I knew that, and I knew that there's probably a few other people who are just misinformed. You know what I'm saying? But
listen,
I get it if you're an Eminem fan, and I get it if you feel that Eminem represented Detroit. But as I look back, Eminem didn't even motherfucking like really take care of Proof. Eminem didn't take care of Proof's mother. Eminem ain't did shit for niggas in Detroit. So I get him being kind of representing there in Detroit, but right now, you know what I'm saying? I think the young niggas in Detroit and how Detroit bounced back to their own sound, I think niggas need to be more proud of that than I think the Eminem shit is far
What
gone at this point.
what's
well,
Eminem?
it's just the
What's Eminem manager name? Rosenberg.
No,
Oh yeah, Peter Rosenberg.
See, I talked to all them guys that was on Eminem team, his bodyguards, all that. You know that dog face. They said when he came in, that shut everybody out. Proof, everybody. They was glad Proof got killed, and that got rid of the whole black team that Eminem had around, all the Detroit boys he had around him. That got rid of all of them. They took Eminem, that was their bag, and they got him away from the brothers. And I got that from the guys who Big Box and all of them who was around that team. And then they accused Box of stealing the money from Eminem, his main bodyguard, and got rid of Box. He from New York. And now it come out the white boy that had been stealing that money from Eminem all along. And they got rid of Box over 10 years ago and put it on Box.
I just feel like now, just lately, and I'm not trying to offend nobody if anybody get offended. And then look, it's the way y'all sit up and talk about the young generation, but the way as grown men like Benzino, you are emotional, my nigga. Nick, like when you can't, you gotta show to me, not just singling you out, just as grown men, period. Because I feel like a lot of men go through a lot, black men go through a lot. So they emotions be on edge. They one little thing can make a person snap in real life shit when you got a lot on you. But as I think when the younger generation of young boys see how grown men handle beef now, like Benzino, you kind of made it social media. You teach now, you got other little young niggas on there. Oh, I'm at their dog face. Y'all made it social media. It's like now it's time for y'all to show them. Look, listen. Now it's time to show. What I'm saying is now it's time to show young boys. Let a nigga talk. We rich. You ain't gotta say shit. No response is bad. No response will kill a nigga faster than anything. I was talking to somebody yesterday. When you a killer and somebody on the internet ranting and raving about you, when you know when a nigga's a killer, because guess what? He's silent. He not, because you now niggas worry because they don't know what the fuck he about to come up with. They don't know what he about to do. He's not going back at him. Long as you going back at me all day, I know what you doing. Shit, on a computer, going back at me. But when you silent on a nigga, he don't know what his next move is. 10 times out of 10, that's gonna shut a nigga up because he's gonna be wondering where this nigga at, because I am talking mad shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just more of now, it's just the back and forth. Back in the day, because I got all brothers. Back in the day, there was no back and forth. You just say you want to fight, and that's what it is.
I never look at the Eminem thing as like beef. I'm be honest with you. I never ever. I'm be honest. I'm be right here on the show. All these years, I never ever looked at it as beef. See, hip hop, I know it was battling, and I know we got personal within the battling, but I'm not stupid. Like we've never met. Like they would never allow Eminem to come around me or be in the same room I'm in. So I never looked at that as a beef. You know what I'm saying?
But no, what I'm saying, I'm not, because you know what I'm saying, not to cut you. I'm not going as if fuck Eminem. Not saying, it's not talking about, I'm just saying in general, as we need our men now to stand up and show the younger generation how it goes. You know what I'm saying?
Believe you.
What is the examples that you're setting or anybody's setting for the younger generation?
I agree with that.
All I'm saying is, even though you used to be a high head and you snapped off, it's always room to change. It's always to show a kid what to be and what not to be.
Absolutely.
And that's all I'm saying. Like a lot of men are so emotional, and I'm not saying it like you're a bitch or nothing. Emotional because they got a lot. Grown men suffer from childhood traumas. Childhood traumas don't get better as you get older. That shit get worse when you don't talk to nobody.
Absolutely.
Fix them. And as back in the day, I think a lot of men from back in the day is more emotional because they couldn't express themselves back in the day because it was considered as weak or it was considered as gay. So now y'all bottled up with a lot of shit. So soon something come at y'all ready to go show y'all manhood. Fuck that shit. Because especially when you rich.
Oh, so let me chime in. Let me chime in on that. Can I?
Go ahead, go face.
First of all, I'm going to use whatever tool at my disposal.
You're a podcaster.
No, I don't give a fuck what it is.
And you're an asshole.
I'm going to use whatever tool at my disposal to defeat the people who have presented themselves to me and to the world as a whole as my ops. I don't give a fuck. Period. I talk about your mama. I will dig your mama bones up and throw them all over the fucking street.
I ain't fucking playing with you. Listen,
I don't give a fuck.
So listen. So that's why it's gonna be a lot of kids out here fucking fucking nutty. It's gonna be nuts.
Anyway, they fucked up anyway.
And you hoping you tell them it's good. Throw their mama bones.
And listen, that's what I'm gonna tell the kids. Listen to your parents. Don't listen to me. Cause I ain't got nothing but gangster shit for a nigga.
Dogface, you a bully.
I'm not no
Okay.
bully.
The younger generation don't listen. Majority of them. There's some of them that do, but majority of them don't listen. When you try
They're
to
more
talk to them, they
visual.
don't
And
hear you. I
they
know
because they
that, but
don't hear you,
they
they
still
see.
don't.
They go off what they see. I have a 17-year-old, and they're more visual.
Oh yeah,
No,
I'm
no, you have a great
I
point.
have
No,
a
no, you got a great point. You have a
17
point.
and
You have
an
a point.
18 and a 26 and a 30-year-old. And I can tell you the difference between my 26 and 30-year-old and my 17 and my 18-year-old.
That's vast.
Listen, what they do, what?
It's vast difference between the
Oh,
old.
I was about to say,
The
yeah,
older
it's
generation went
different because
outside
the
and played
younger
outside.
generation, but the younger ones, I could tell you this. I can tell them something today, they'll hear me today, and then they go to bed and they factory reset. And it's like everything that you said to them just went out the window. What I can say is when we do talk about it starts at home, it does, because my kids do have a good head on their shoulders. Do they still jam themselves up? Yes. My son jammed himself up. He's sitting down now in a Florida correctional facility, 25 years. Nobody, no nothing, but Florida don't play, because he wanted to go against the grain and go out there and do what he wanted to do instead of listening to me. So yeah, it is a hard-headedness, but at the same time, when you talk about raising them, it was way different raising the older two than it is to raise the younger two. Because these younger two, they tell me about their friends. I see their friends. They don't listen. Even when my girls be trying to talk to their friends and tell them the right thing, and I be listening to them, giving their friends advice, they don't listen. So it's like you do have to show them, but you have to also understand that you are dealing with kids who ain't being guided at home either.
Hey, but I'm going to agree with you.
it-
But I'm
it-
going to agree with you. But I'm going to agree with you. You're right. And let me tell you something. You know, I have made changes. As you get older, you mature. When you come from the
Not me.
streets,
Not me. I don't
yeah.
mature.
But look at
We ain't
but look
talking
at
about
though.
you.
Okay,
But
I
I'm
ain't
be
mature.
honest. No. But I just wanted to say, like, you know, I thought, like as you get older, especially I keep going to 60. Like this, a long, like, it is my responsibility to, you know, mature. It is my responsibility to keep my emotions intact, to try to, because I got kids too, grown kids, and I got a 9-year-old, for Christ's sakes. You know, my thing is, you know, you're absolutely right, and there's nothing wrong with what you said. You know what I'm saying? All I could do was just get older. All I could do, but face them, because you know, all I could do, because you can't, when somebody says that, you got to take that because it's true. Because these kids are broken, and it's not going to help them seeing me broken. You know what I'm saying? So I got to try to give them some type of, you know what I'm saying, a mirror for them to at least try. And you know, and I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Let me take a stab.
Charleston White couldn't even fix these little niggas.
Hell no,
This
dog
Mm-mm.
face.
nigga,
Don't you
even
say
It's
more
not
over.
I
than
mean,
a
he's an
word.
idiot. Now he's an idiot.
No.
I
It's
hate
over.
that nigga.
I
He's an
can't take a
idiot.
stab.
So,
Hold on, wait.
He's an idiot.
Go ahead, face. Go
Y'all
ahead,
know
face.
Boogie always trying to stir up the pot. Don't
Boogie,
leave
we
that
talked
Boogie,
about this
man.
I
last
almost broke my
time.
computer
I
screen.
can't take a stab at this shit.
Go
No,
ahead, face. Go ahead. You go talk
What?
no,
You
Go
teach
ahead,
kids.
no.
Face. Go ahead,
Go
Face.
ahead.
Get Doggy his shot. Go ahead,
Damn.
Doggy.
Okay, let's hear the
Go
next
ahead,
level
get
of
your
ignorant
shot.
shit he about to say, because you know he about to
Go
go there.
ahead, Doggy.
Say
Come
something
on.
profound and enlightening.
Okay, I want to hear this.
Listening.
Fuck these niggas.
Everybody knew you was gonna say it.
And
That's
then
why I said let him get it out. That's why I say let him get
look,
it
back
out.
to what we were saying, dog face with your boy head ass.
Let
Listen,
him get it
and
out.
a lot of the big problems that I acknowledge too is you have these great parents, right? You have great parents, and you raising your kids with these values, principles, and everything. But you gotta change their environment. And that's
Right.
the people not understanding. You
Absolutely.
can't put values and put these morals in a kid in the hood with kids that have none. So now you making them look like they're gonna be the punk because they're being raised properly with a lot of animals. You know what I'm saying? So when the way you're raising your child, you have to make that environment for them. You have to change the environment for them. It's because it's levels to the shit. Like you said, Henny, it's not just teaching them, it's teaching them, changing their environment. You have to build that whole foundation of who you're trying to get them to be, or make that when you're paving that way for them. You can't raise good kids completely in the hood with badass kids. Because some
No,
you can't.
I mean,
But
it's
you
hard
you
can't
can
because
do it.
you
You can do
I
it.
grew up in
You can do it.
projects, and guess what? My
You
grandma
can
did the
do it.
best that she could to keep
And-
me out them
You can
streets,
do
and I
it.
ran to
Okay.
them anyway. But
She
Well,
can do.
exactly. That's what I'm
what
saying. That's
she
what I'm
did,
saying.
but what
Hey,
she
bring me a
did do
sweatshirt.
also was introduced me to other things. She introduced me to being outside of my hood. She introduced me to a
Changing
world
the
outside of
environment.
because we couldn't necessarily move where we lived. So yeah, so to a degree, I'm agreeing with you. But what I'm saying is, don't forget that element of if you can't move, if you financially can't move, then you could financially save to do something to get your kid an experience. I went to camp with the white kids. I
Right.
didn't like it. I didn't
That's
go to
right.
camp with the kids that I was at home surrounded
Right.
with. I went
Right.
to school with the white kids.
Right.
I
Right.
went to Catholic school for a little while until
But
my
it's
mother
still
said,
it's
"No, I got in
changing your
trouble."
environment.
But
She's
either
still
way,
changing your
but
environment.
that's
How
what
you
I'm
do that,
saying.
Henry?
That's
How
what
you
I'm
do?
saying.
How you do
If
that?
you
How you
could
do it?
say,
How you do that, Henry? How you do it? How you do it?
It's still changing the environment, Henny. It's still her.
No.
She still changed her
But
environment.
Henny.
Go on,
Henry,
then.
show us how to do that. How you do that, Henry? How you do that? Oh, you from Boston. You know Boston is heavy
it's the
cat.
Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, just like
Father,
that.
But
Son, the Holy Spirit.
it's
Yeah.
what she said though. Your mama changed
You
your
have
environment,
right.
put
She
you
did
around
That's
different
what I'm
people,
saying.
right, but
different
what I'm
things.
saying, right, but what I was just trying to bring to the table was something different because sometimes people think when they hear change the environment, they got to move. So I was saying, no, that's
Oh,
not. There's other ways you could change the environment.
yeah, it
I'm
is.
going to agree with
Yeah.
you, but there's another way to do it where if you could save up to get your bust down 22-inch lace front every month, you could save to go take your kids to the museum.
Take your kid to karate. Take him
Exactly.
to karate. Take him to
Something that's
sports.
gonna
Take him to
let me tell you something.
ballerina lessons. Do something with your
I
kid.
Gymnastics.
was a nerdy
Gymnastics.
Take my
street
kids
girl.
nowhere. I'm taking my money to the jewelry store.
Ain't nobody asked you. I was a nerdy street girl. Okay. Nobody knew that at night I would be in the house reading books. I would be
Absolutely.
researching and going to the library, researching stuff because I loved when I had to do reports. I loved doing when you had to do current events. I loved doing that. But nobody would ever know that I was turning in homework and all of that
Right,
stuff. They
right.
didn't. I was at a point in school where I wasn't doing homework, schoolwork, studying for no test, but I can pass the test because I was paying attention in class while I was doing what I wanted to do. So at the end of the day, you have to elevate your kids. You've got to also make sure that they're intellectual, not just throw them with an iPad or give them an iPhone or throw them in front of a device and feel like that device is going to teach them everything. No, get them a library card, get them access. Even if you got to take them to the nice downtown areas and just walk around for a little while, just show them that there's something else out there because a lot of these kids have no guidance, none.
Absolutely.
Because most of these kids don't have a parent in the home because I'm sorry.
I agree with both. I agree with both of them because listen. So I have two sets of kids: the older set, the younger set. When I was raising my older set, when I came home from prison after doing 17 straight calendar years, I came home to a situation where their mother was doing the best she possibly could. She was financially, she was doing well, and they were staying in Detroit. But they were staying in Detroit, but inside that household, it was not Detroit. Inside the household, in terms of what you saw, the activities, the homework, the morals, the training, that shit was like some West Bloomfield shit. So you can be from the hood and in the hood, but you don't necessarily, you as a parent, if you can't move yourself out the hood physically, there are things that you can do inside your household to change the narrative and help guide them beyond what their experience outside the door is.
Well, listen, y'all not
You know what y'all forgetting though? What about the parents? What about the parents?
No. Hold on, dude. We understand the point is, yeah, sometimes listen. So my thing was while we were trying to better our circumstance, we were making sure that we were doing what parents are supposed to be doing. You're not gonna be out late at night. We ain't gonna have no riffraff in this house. You ain't gonna be out shooting dice in the corner. You ain't gonna be out fucking and sucking and all that other kind of shit. Not in here. You ain't gonna do that. So we applied all the strategies that a person would apply inside their household, inside the ghetto, to try to help. Now, if you stray off of this shit, then that's gonna be on you.
If you stray off,
You gotta
exactly.
stand
If you
on
sneak
it with
your
an
ass out
iron
the
fist.
house and
Our
go do
point
all that
was-
street shit, that's on you, right?
Yeah, our goal was to get the fuck out. Because listen, I'm the kind of motherfucker. I ain't trying to wait and see the hood. Fuck the hood. I'm trying to take my mother. I'm trying to take this money and move my kids out to a situation where the likelihood of them getting shot in a drive-by shooting is exponentially low as fuck.
And this what I'm getting at is raising your kids good, but when you got them in the hood, it's like a Christian trying to be holy, but she around 100 demons. You know what I'm saying? A person gonna say something out the way, gonna make me slip and cuss. Damn, bitch, you taking me out my godliness. You know what I'm saying? What I'm meaning is you could teach them well, but in the type of environment they have, kids is either gonna pick on them, gonna say, "Oh, you think you better than somebody because they're loved." That's what I'm saying. It's just more of the backlash to raising your child good in a world full of fucked up people. I done seen people jealous of another person because a person mama loved them. Or damn, I got a mama and a daddy.
That's the nature of a nigga. See, niggas hate everything.
I hate that shit.
It ain't nothing that a motherfucker could do to better than themselves or to improve their own personal circumstance that a nigga gonna like. A nigga don't like it unless they personally involved and personally benefiting from it. I'm glad you capped on that point, baby doll. I want to segue into something. In the world of hip hop, we've had legendary figures. And when you talk about environments and shit like that, in the world of hip hop, most of those got a lot of the hip hop stars and entertainers, they're millionaires, and they raise their kids up, and their kids are raised up privileged. And a lot of those kids turn out to be pieces of shit, and they were raised in the best possible circumstance that you can imagine. But you can have money and still not transfer any morals or any integrity to your kids. Your kids grow up fucked up. Benzino is in a situation where a lot of guys in hip hop who obtain legendary status, they didn't really produce anything when they offsprings. Name a rapper who from Benzino's generation who's produced a Coi Leray. No. Nobody. Run DMC don't have a Coi Leray. LL Cool J don't have no Coi Leray. But Benzino did. So for all the criticism, whether their relationship was strained, whether he was the best possible father, he's a fucking gangster. So I don't know how good a gangster could have been. A gangster gonna do what a gangster do, right? Right? Benzino, your relationship with your daughter has been strained at times, and it's been a beacon of hope at times. Tell me where you stand with your daughter now. She's gonna have a baby, from what I hear.
Yeah, baby.
You shared it already?
Yeah. The baby's a few months old, man. She's beautiful.
Oh, you pop. You pop.
Yeah, pop for the first time, man. I got two now with Ray. My oldest, like 3 years older than Coi. So, yeah, I mean, you know, it's just surreal because being a street guy, being a street guy father is different from being a doctor or a lawyer father. When it comes to just parenthood, we grew up looking at the well, now I want to say perfect, but what you strive for is the wife, the husband, you're in the house, the husband goes to work, the wife's at home you're looking at, because this is what I grew up watching on TV and shit. It wasn't in my house because my father and mother was never married. My father was locked up most of my life. And I love him to death. What I'm saying? My mother's passed, my father's still here. But when it comes to street guys, and it's like you're in the projects, you know what I'm saying? You with a chick, you got feelings for her. Y'all ain't using condoms. Next thing you know, she's having a baby. None of us are really stable enough to have a baby. You know what I'm saying? But we do it because of love or what we think love is, and we feel like this baby, we're gonna be together forever, and then it just goes dysfunctional because, and it's nobody's fault. We are all from the hood, and it's hard raising children at a young age in the hood without any type of career, any type of stability. So we do the best we can, right? Nobody has a handbook. If you grew up in a 2-family home, then that's great. And they was married for years, then that's a beautiful fucking thing. But if you're not, which most of us are not, then you have to kind of learn on the fly. And you got to go to your own morals and dignities, how you raise that child. Me and Coi's mom, I had a son prior to that. me and Ray Ray mom broke up when Ray Ray was 3. Coy mom, but I met her. You know, she was in the hood. I was in the hood. We both from the projects. Our families are from the projects. You know, street families. Coy comes from my side street family, Asia side street family, her mom. And, you know, at that time we was, you know, when I first got with it was with the streets, but when Coy was born, I had the source. I mean, I was kind of getting it in the streets before the source made any money was like 98, 99. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Coy's younger life, you know what I'm saying, I had it really going good. I got indicted and I fell like a lot of street niggas do. And what motherfuckers don't understand is within our dysfunction, being a street guy, and within going through everything, yeah, we can't spend a lot of time with our kids the way we want to, especially if you're not having no money. When I had money, I was flying my kids to me, all of them. I'd have them 4 to 5 months out the year, every summer, every I would have them every Christmas, every Thanksgiving. I'm buying all the gifts, I'm buying all the clothes because I got it and I love doing it. But I'm not Cliff Huxtable. You know what I'm saying? Like my parenting isn't like a Cliff Huxtable. My parenting has to be adjusted as a street nigga and as an entertainer. And both of those, a street nigga and entertainer, it's not gonna be the most ideal situation of a father. You know what I mean? So um, you know, I don't I never thought that I would have problems with my children moving forward. I always thought that because I hustled and because I always took care of the money, if I wasn't there all the time, that would make up for it. That's what every street nigga thinks. Every
Yeah.
street nigga loves our kids, but the dysfunction you
Mhm.
go through with in the streets and with the baby's mother, that shit, that shit is,
It has an
believe me,
impact.
I got
Yeah.
3 babies' mothers, and I went through it each time. Courts, can't see my kid, all kind of shit. And I don't put no blame on nobody. There's a dysfunction that we all go through. All right. How do you have a lay down with somebody, have a child by them, and then y'all hate each other's guts to where you're sitting in the court and there's all kind that shit is so common. So it's kind of we have to see that it's deeper than just it's not a coincidence. It's dysfunction.
It's
And we do the
designed.
best
It's
we can.
designed.
So I say that to say this. I love my daughter dearly. It's my only daughter. I got 3 boys. I love my kids dearly. As a black man and what I go through in my life plays a part on how I am with my kids, unfortunately. Nobody has, I'm not using that as no excuse, but that's my personal thing that I go through. Nobody's there with me when I can't get my kids because we're arguing or I can't. Nobody's there with me when I go through that depression or those things, right? Because
Mhm.
I don't, it's nobody's business. I go through them alone. You know what I'm saying? My kids are the most important thing ever to me. Now, what happens when you break up, especially with a daughter, it's a little harder than boys.
Yeah.
And then when I'm on TV with other women, or my daughter is visiting me and I have other women, and then she's seeing her mom maybe in a position that her mom's in, oh, all that plays a part of it. I know now.
Mhm.
But I didn't think that none of this, I never thought that me and my daughter would be beefing or problems. That shit, that I wasn't, I'm not cool with that. I don't like people using me as the poster boy for, oh, he must be a deadbeat dad or he wasn't there.
Mm-mm.
The fuck out of here with that. I took care of Coy and her older brothers, 2 of them that weren't mine. And I'm not bragging about that. It's what I had to do. But the way I was there, I might not be Cliff Huxtable, but as a street nigga father, I did everything that I had to do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm proud of that. Now, maybe I wasn't there when all the time when she wanted me to be because her mother lived here and I lived there. That happens. But I just go from a street nigga perspective. People need to give men a little more grace in what we go through because all my niggas love their kids. Like I got some street niggas, killers, all that. They all love their kids, but Lord, with the shit we go through, it's not cool. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Mhm.
cool, and nobody is there for us. Nobody understands where we come through when it comes to this
Yeah.
parenting because the mother got the kids. The mother got him. The way the rules are set, the mother got him, and then the system is against the father. So not only we're fighting the system, we're fighting the mother too, and then we got to go through the shit with the kid later on. It's a fucked up way to know,
Oh
like,
yeah.
what type of shit is that? Like who, like who? It makes you like, damn, I would have kept my dick in my pants. Like I wouldn't even had no fucking kids because what you go through, what a nigga go through, and what nobody knows what we go through, and because I'm vulnerable, I can say this. But these niggas are going through it too, and it ain't cool. It's not cool. So what you seen me and Coy go through, that's what damn near the whole America's going through with niggas and their daughters and everything else. Nobody knows the sacrifice. Nobody gives a fuck about what the fuck we go through. And that's cool. That's cool. You know what I'm saying?
And we can't say nothing about it. You feel me?
But it's not true that don't nobody care though.
As a whole.
We talking about as a whole. We talking about as a majority rule.
Hey, so Benzino, what's the problem with you and Joe Buttons? Because it seems like Joe Buttons, he loves to talk about Benzino. What the fuck is the problem here?
I mean, I hope he's not. I hope he's. You know, I mean, I hope he's not looking at me in no funny way. You know what I'm saying? Because all right, I was raised by a father. I was raised by a real dad that I love dearly. Shout out to Schnapps. Schnapps raised me as a man. Schnapps was a street guy, but I was raised with morals and dignity and code. This new thing with men talking about men, like, you know, like I don't know what Joe Buttons made a comment about me working out and coming out of a pool. Like I posted something in slow motion of me and he was like, he comes out the pool with glistening water. Like I wouldn't even use glistening in a man in the same conversation. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what Joe Buttons, not just Joe Buttons, but 50. And then Game just posted a pic of me working out and made a comment about my six pack. And this is 5 a.m. He's posting my videos. These niggas are posting me and talking about my appearance. And I don't know that type of mentality for a man because I've been on, let me see, 2012, I started with Instagram. I've never, and since 2012 to 2025, I've never been under a fucking man's page and talking about the way he looks under his post in my fucking life. Now, I'm 60 years old. I get in the gym. I like the way I look. I lift. I take my shirt off, and I'm taking my pictures and video that makes me feel good. The amount of hate I get from grown fucking men, like I've never seen, like this is like a disease. Women ain't even the problem when it comes to jealousy. Men are more jealous of men more than anything. Like it's crazy. And I'm like, what the fuck is the matter with us, bro? So, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where we at with it. I just don't.
You can't call them men though. Them not men attributes. They just males. You feel me? Them not men. Men don't do things like that. You feel me? But another thing, what about we go back to the Paul Pierce thing with Made Men? Can you speak on that?
An unfortunate incident.
That history.
That was an unfortunate incident where Paul got stabbed a bunch of times, and a bunch of my guys who were close to me got a lot of time in jail for that shit. Just because the story's out there, but briefly, it was a situation where we was at a club, and I think Paul got aggressive with, you know, one of my guys' females that was with him. And one thing led to another. You're in a city that you're at a club, a nightclub, you're a young guy, you're a millionaire, you know, what I would like to bring attention is to these guys out there. If we could bring anything out of this that could help anybody, is that these guys that are on these football and basketballs, when you go in these cities, you got to be cognizant. You got to be aware that when you're talking to a woman in a club and she's from that city, that other niggas usually are talking to her, or she might have a baby daddy. And not saying that that shouldn't be a issue, but you got to be aware of that if you're from out of town. Now, here you are, a multimillionaire. You really could have the pick of the litter. A lot of these guys don't got shit, and they're already frustrated. So you just got to be careful who you're talking to in the cities you're at. And I think Paul, being at a nightclub, hollering at the wrong chick at the wrong time, just that's what got into it. I can't, you know, the specifics of it was a couple of good guys got a lot of time from it. Paul pointed him out on stage. He actually took the stand and pointed him out. You know, that was him. The thing I can say was when he was in his bed and they gave him the book of pictures, they wanted him to pick me. You know, and I heard this. They kept telling him it was him, and he kept saying no. And he picked my guys. All right. And you know, I'm in Boston. Everybody knows me. I know everybody. That night at the club, we was deep. All right. It was unfortunate what happened. I'm sure it would happen in any city. You know, you got your local guys from that city, and then there's an athlete there, and he starts fighting with one of the guys. All the guys from the block are gonna jump in. You know, Paul's the biggest out of all of them. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was a big Paul Pierce fan, sports fan. You have to if you're in Boston. So when they drafted Paul, I knew about Paul coming from Kansas, #1 draft pick. You're gonna pair him with Antoine Walker. This is our chance to really like get the chip. I was excited about Paul, but when it happened, it was just it was just the wrong place, at the wrong time. And you know, the thing about it is, if we could take anything out of it, nobody died. But like I said, you know, one of my guys, you know what I'm saying, Hood Boss, Free Roscoe got 20 years. My man Trev got a bunch of time from it, you know, Big Trev. And yeah, it was unfortunate. One of my guys who had nothing to do with it, I had to pay for a lawyer, almost $100,000 just to get him off it. They took it to trial and he ended up fucking, you know what I'm saying, not guilty because he had nothing to do with it, but he got picked and he didn't even have nothing to do with it. It just was a unfortunate situation. You know, it wasn't the only time that happened. Like I remember Mo Vaughn got into something at a club. Lawyer Malloy for the Patriots, Mo Vaughn of the Red Sox. It's always over a chick. It's always an athlete beefing or fighting over a fucking chick. And what I'm saying is, with these young guys, be more careful of where you go, right? And be careful of who you're talking to. And that's, you know, since we're bringing that up, I just want to put that out there more than the story because this.
He lost
Lost
six.
him again.
Can you hear
There,
me? Can you hear
there
me?
you go.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, this happens on a regular basis. And I'm like I said, you know, Paul lived, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, but you know, unfortunate situation.
Got you. Benzino, when it comes to podcasting, a lot of podcasts out there, Jada Kiss and Fat Joe. They have the Joe and Jada podcast. It is the most horrible display. I'm not a Fat Joe fan. I'm gonna tell you this right now. All the Puerto Rico ass, hip hop ass shit. I'm not with all that shit. I'm not gonna jump on the bandwagon about the paperwork and Joe being a possible alleged snitch. I ain't gonna touch that shit. But I'm not a fan of how Fat Joe's come with this Puerto Rican ass shit. Am I wrong?
Well, I mean, listen. I am. My grandmother, Boricua, you know what I'm saying? My father's side, I can't speak it. But listen, this is my thing on it. Hip hop came from the South Bronx in the 70s, and I don't know if anybody's seen what the South Bronx looked like in the 70s. The South Bronx was horrible. I mean, it was fucked up. A lot of Caribbean people moved to the South Bronx in the 70s. All kind of people from the Caribbean, from everywhere. A lot of Puerto Rican people, a lot of Jamaican people, Trinidadian. So Puerto Rican people meshed with was living in these areas with black people and with Jamaican people.
Mhm.
And then here comes hip hop. There was Puerto Rican DJs, Puerto Rican MCs because that was the environment in the Bronx at that time. And you know, Joe came up in the Bronx with black people. I could say that about Joe. Now, Joe has an arrogance about him that makes it hard for people to. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But you know, I can understand him being proud of the Puerto Rican roots because when you look at him and Pun, they took it the furthest of any Puerto Rican, you know. So he's kind of carrying the flag. So I get that. Now all the other shit, you know what I'm saying? You know, me and Joe ain't always seen eye to eye, personally. You know what I'm saying, on different things. But that part of it, I can understand because that's his heritage. And, you know, I know he's not 100% Puerto Rican. I think he's Colombian and Cuban. I think he's a bunch of things. But when you grow up in the Bronx and he's really one of the last of the Puerto Ricans that got that far, or at least Pun was, rest in peace, Pun, for people to kind of represent. You know, because Puerto Rico is huge in Puerto Rican's huge in New York. You know, Cardi's Dominican. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So, you know, Cardi's carrying that flag. So, you know, I mean, people are proud of who they are. You know, me, I'm Cape Verdean, and I really didn't understand my heritage, and I'm learning more now, and I'm trying to carry that flag. You know what I'm saying? I knew, I mean, I knew I was Cape Verdean when I was younger, but I really didn't know about Cape Verdean people and west coast of Africa, being in islands off of west coast of Africa, and you know, and I'm learning more about about who I am. You know, all we know is that we was all slaves, but it goes deeper than that. You know, my girl got me taking this ancestry.com thing
I'm
next week.
penitentiary in.
Huh?
I'm penitentiary in.
Nah, but if
I
you do
know I'm a nigga.
ancestry.com, no, listen, I want all y'all to do ancestry.com because you're gonna find out some shit, and you're gonna get more. You're gonna get more intrigued by it. Trust me.
Listen, I just found my father on ancestry.com.
Wow.
Where you from?
He's from here. His name was Cowboy. He's from Mississippi, but he moved here from Mississippi. He was murdered 2 months after I was born. He was shot in the stomach with a 12-gauge shotgun.
You look like you from Mississippi, baby doll.
Listen, I'm 42% Nigerian.
Yeah,
So listen,
everybody is.
I can see the nose.
Everybody is.
Shut your ass up, Dollface. But listen,
my girl is like 50% Nigerian. She just found out.
Yeah, I got a lot of Nigerian in my blood, and I'm like, how is it half of my blood?
Because you got to understand, when they took from Africa, that's where they was taking them. Nigeria was a huge you know, country. So a lot of people came from Congo, Benin, Nigeria. That's where a lot of slaves came to America. So when you look at it, and look at my girl got like 20,000 cousins. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, but I got a lot of mixed up stuff on that other side.
Don't invite them over dinner.
But then look, I got my brothers. I'm the youngest. My oldest brother is 52. My youngest, the youngest, he's 50. He turned 50 actually next Friday.
Hey, you say Nigerian?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a lot of stuff in me. Yes, I'm Nigerian, Amazonian. No, I'm not.
From Iceland.
No, I'm not. I actually have Romanian in me too.
Yes, you're definitely gonna have some European.
I believe that.
Yeah, I got 2% European. I said, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a lot.
Girl.
I got a lot.
You're from Africa. You got 0% European in you. You're from Africa. You like me with the wig on.
Oh, baby, I shut the fuck.
No, listen. It's funny she said that because look, my girl got the same thing, like 1-2% Irish or something, but that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? They're always gonna throw a little percent in there to try to throw their little shit in there.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I thought I was like Dominican or Puerto Rican or something.
Yeah, keep on thinking, motherfucker.
My edges told me that. And I was looking at my edges. I said, damn, that's that Puerto Rican.
My edges. But you know what? It was interesting to find out that I also have Amazonian, I have Aztec and Mayan blood in me too.
Oh, you real exotic, huh? You look exotic.
No, I could have told you that. That fucking mouth and disposition, that mouth and that aggressive, that's Amazonian and angry Indian all day. I could have told you that.
I got it. You better go look up them Mayans and them Aztecs and then come back playing with me. Come back playing with me.
They put me.
Dollface. Your shit came back 42%.
I say nothing.
Your shit came back 42% bully.
Now, Benzino, now you know you was my man. Y'all music got me through the penitentiary. Y'all Source Magazine, Made Men. Y'all had the coldest. Made Men. Y'all had you and the Locks had the coldest song on the Belly soundtrack. Now what went down? What happened with Made Men and the Locks on that? Cause y'all made some good music.
You know, we had the soundtrack was almost done, and I just remember that Dave had said, my partner Dave was like, "Yo, we can get you on a soundtrack." We had made the beat, the Hangman 3, myself 2 times, and rest in peace, JB. We had produced the beat, and we just was like, "Yo, we just need the Locks." At that point, we was like, "Yo, we need them niggas." That was us wanting them, and they agreed to it, and they had actually came to Boston and we did it. And I just remember we had smoked a bunch of weed and hash. And we killed that shit. And when Little X did the video, Lil X, I remember shot the
Right.
video.
Yep. Legs did the video. I
Yep, Lil
remember
X
that.
did the video. Melissa Ford was in the video. Um, so I remember like, I mean, to be honest, I did so many like, man, I did a lot of features, man. Like, I gave Nas $65,000 for a feature that I didn't even use. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Master P. I mean, I can go on and on and on, like Mob Deep, and we almost got signed to Easy E, and then I talked to him like 2 days before he died, and it like had a
We
Man,
lost
we
him.
keep lagging.
I didn't know if you're gonna be back with Cardi Red because they was cute together.
Ugh.
I'm talking shit. He gonna try to scream. The way we hate Charleston White, he hate her so much.
What was that song that she was singing? Prada Gucci Louis. Was that the song Prada
Yeah.
Gucci Louis? Prada Gucci Louis.
She's so funny, bro.
I said if she don't sit her ass down somewhere,
No, but look, she didn't glowed up. She looking kind of nicer than what she
she had a
used
lot
to.
of work done. She had a lot of work done.
She spent some nice money. I like
Yes,
she went
she
to the
did.
right people. She looks
Yes,
very
she
good.
did. She did, but she needed that work.
She need an inside work. Now she's still just nasty. Like
Hey,
Jesus.
somebody said I'm Doberman Picture Bully. And who said that about me?
And
And part
3%
pit bull
shit you.
Who said that?
with 5% Chihuahua.
The other three is shit
I'm
you.
Jeep Cherokee,
I don't be
the
appreciating how
fast one.
Did y'all catch the shit he said about me? He
Cause
said
you
I
just
look like
be
him with a
yipping.
wig.
Yip, 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 yip.
I'm just telling you. Black
Listen to
men are
this.
sensitive.
Dollface, you sound like you with a wig on.
Now, what you were saying about the locks,
Wait before
Benzino?
we. That's what you said.
I mean, them niggas are dope. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like kissing them, like they stand the test of time. And even like what Dogface said with their podcast, I think, with these podcasts, I just think, man, eventually I want to start my podcast. I just think it seems like podcasts now people want to hear podcasts more than music now. Like when you look at what's going on with Young Thug, people are more in tune to the phone calls than they are really what's on what's on the Billboard Hot 100 nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So, I think we're looking at a shift because of the internet that maybe people are. I know people still love music, but I think the interest is leaning more towards conversation and podcast than there is music nowadays.
Will you ever bring back Hip Hop Weekly?
The me personally, I really, as far as magazines and stuff, I'm done with that. Like, I mean, I dedicated a lot of my life with that. Never even that. I didn't think I was even. That wasn't something that I thought I'd be ever be in publishing and magazines. When I met Dave, it was a friendship, and it just kind of morphed into that. And I'm grateful. I learned a lot about publishing and magazines. Um, Very grateful for the opportunity. I mean, life is a journey. I mean, listen, my journey is there's been a lot of a roller coaster. You got your peaks and valleys and shit. You got your dips. You got your scary moments. You got your happy moments. But that's just life. Um, I think that the magazine game's over with. Like finito. I walk through airports, the whole half of the wall would be filled with magazines, and now you be lucky if I don't even look over there anymore. People are too much into their phones and computers and short reading. That's just when we had the source, it was like long reading, long type reading features and shit. Real photographers taking real pictures, man. Rest in peace, the great Chimo do with the source. So man, it was an era. I think the good thing with us is that we got to live in a time where we could get a magazine and just sit back and just kind of just turn them pages. But this technology now, man, and we adapt and adjust, especially as older people. So people like us that was there when it was, it'll always be a part of us, I think. That's why it's always because people ask me, you think there'll ever be another source? I'm like, the source is still going on. They're just digital now. Somebody else owns it. But I think magazine game is done. Now, who knows? I've been wrong. I know they've gotten rid of a lot of those big printers and things are like dinosaurs, like the printers of, they would be in certain parts of the country. Them things are gone. There ain't too many
Yeah.
of those anymore.
But I
So
think you could do a digital version if you wanted to, but I know that takes a lot of tech, a lot of,
yeah,
stepping outside of a lot of what you've already known. But I do feel like things like that are what's missing. I know there's a lot of outlets that try to pick the culture up and keep it, but the Source, Vibe, like those were our big magazines that we looked forward to because we knew we
right.
were going to find out what was going on behind the scenes. How did this fight
Mm,
break out? What was the concept behind this album? What did y'all think about these albums when they came out? We was looking for the mics to see how many mics an
right.
album got. So it really, information now has to come quicker and, like you said, in short form. And I think, just saying, with you being somebody who was a pioneer and had a hand in all of this, how hip-hop was brought up, something so major as an outlet like that, digital, I think that would bridge something that's missing again.
I
um
think I see a lot of people. There's so many platforms out there. Um, with me is like, man, I mean, that was kind of like when you look it back, that was like a chapter. You know what I'm saying? It just for us, I think the older people, I would say like 35 and up. I think of course we would want that. I just know that the youth, they would have to be reconditioned almost, you know what I'm saying? Um
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, like and that's a big task. You know what I'm saying? Man,
yeah.
these guys are wild and they don't really listen. So um you know just us and just you. I take you for instance, you know what I'm saying? And and baby, to everybody on the panel, y'all know when the glory days of hip hop was. And we know that it's a major shift now than from what it was. And just you knowing that, I think, and as you grow older, that'll always stay with you. So at some point you'll pass it down, whether it be through your whoever's gonna sit around when you get old enough to where it's like you have your family in there with you and you're telling your stories, your personal stories to your loved ones. I think that's a way it'll get conveyed. Because it's so crazy right now with content and internet and podcasts, and people just ain't haven't slowed down enough. But I think the millennials in my generation, I think as time goes on, I think those memories will keep coming up in just conversations and with people in gatherings. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think it'll ever be duplicated. I don't think it could be done again. I think we're just in a whole different kind of time zone, a whole different planet right now as far as information and media, and hip hop is just so, I don't know,
Right.
man.
Well, speaking of Hip Hop Weekly, have you and Stevie J reconciled, or was that all for Love and Hip Hop? Like
No, no,
how
no,
is
no,
that?
no. I'm gonna be honest. Listen, that it happened so long ago. When I was on Love and Hip Hop, and listen, me and Stevie had a relationship before Love and Hip Hop, right?
Mhm.
What the stuff that we was going through was actually happening. I can wholeheartedly say that. Everything that happened, like Stevie actually was dating Mimi, and he was in the middle thinking which one to be with. And it just so happened that Mona was casting for a show, and he brought that shit on the show. Um, the shit that I was on Love and Hip Hop with and who I was dating, that's who I was actually dating.
I
That's
was
how I
about
was
to
actually
ask you.
feeling.
Are you
Huh?
you see how bad she looking now, Benzino, Cardi Red, right?
Well, you know what? I mean, the thing is, TV. When I look at TV, people,
You'd be like, that used to be my bitch.
that's
I know
just
you
not
said
no. Like when I look at it, when I look at it, I just be like, I look at the thing of what TV does to people and what
that. Okay.
fame, and it's just, you know what I'm saying, man. I just look at the mental health and how people's parents and stuff, and I wish the best for everybody because Love and Hip Hop, what we did, I don't think people realize, man. Like those seasons was the biggest seasons. What's
Mm-hmm.
Love and Hip Hop now is nowhere near compared
Nothing.
to what we
No.
was doing.
It's
Mm-mm.
And
so
we had like Obama and beyond. We had everybody was watching that shit at one time.
Yeah.
So, that was a moment in time that I was a part of and I'm proud of. You know what I mean? Like didn't wasn't a proud of the moments, some of the moments on there, of course, the fights, because I didn't go on there for that. But just to see, to kind of reflect back then on what we did and how many people were attached and still are, to Love and Hip Hop, to those seasons, those like first 3-4 seasons, was amazing. I didn't cast for it. I never, like, who the fuck knew I was gonna be on that shit, like on Love and Hip Hop with my private life. Like, I've dated celebrities before, you would never know it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always private with my personal life and who I dated. So I didn't see that coming. It was an amazing experience. I didn't like the way it ended. Me and Stevie didn't speak for maybe a year and a half after that, after the fight on the reunion.
Yeah, because
But
that
then,
was wild.
no, it was wild, but it was real. And
Yeah.
it was fucked up, because that was my brother. And we allowed, and I'm not blaming it on the women, but we allowed that situation to get in front of our friendship. And that was a fucked up time. The thing was, we both had children out of it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, we both, like,
Shout
Zeno
out
and
to little Zeno. Oh my God.
Zeno and Bonnie Bella are almost the same age. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we I know he loves her to death. I love Zeno to death, but we've moved on. You know what I'm saying? I'm with somebody that I love dearly now. I've been with her for like 4 or 5 years. And
Mm,
when I look back, like she said, when I look back at them, I really don't I don't look back at it from a relation standpoint. I look back at it from a business standpoint. Like,
mhm.
damn, like Kurt, Rashida, and them are still getting checks from it, which is pretty cool. Now,
Right.
now, how they are as people and how Love and Hip Hop shaped them, then that's a different story. Because me, I never bought into this celebrity shit. Like, I'm a nigga from Four Corners that took advantage from opportunities. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I came from the street. I sold drugs all my life. I've been around a lot of shit, lost a lot of guys. So I never really looked at myself as better than somebody or special. I just I just know when all these things are happening, I just try to take advantage of them. And then I look back and be like, damn, I was a part of that. Like, I never even looked at Love and Hip Hop, like I would do it, but I wouldn't look at, because I got shot on there. I lost my mother on there. You know, I mean, my relationships of who I was with on there never worked out. So that was a moment in my life of a lot of real moments. So it'll always be a special, time in my life. You know what I'm
Would
saying?
you ever go back on there, Benzino?
I wouldn't go back on it the way it is now, but money talks. Like, let's make no mistake. I'm not into the fight. And when I went on Love and Hip Hop, I talked to one woman at a time. It's not, make no mistake about it. I wasn't trying to talk to a bunch of women. I actually was trying to get married. I got engaged a couple of times. I really tried to find love. It just didn't happen. But surely wasn't trying to, like, date a bunch of chicks and having them fight. I never was into that. So when Jocelyn did that, caught everybody by surprise. I didn't know that fucking shit was gonna happen. I wasn't into fighting and all that on TV. So, if the type of reality show, I love reality TV, but I want to do some stuff that can help our people.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
can laugh, they can cry, and they can get something out of it. I think reality TV, with all this fighting and negativity, I think it's harming our culture. I think it is
Mhm.
harming young women. I
Yeah,
think all those baddie shows and all that, no disrespect to nobody, but I think that shit is just, I'm trying
trash.
to I'm trying to figure out what is the end game in that. Like, what is the point of all that shit? Like, all that fighting and bitch, and fighting and bitch.
You know, the show was designed for people that has anger issues and things like that to come on there and work together to change themselves.
Oh, is that
But
what it's for?
that's what it was for, okay? But
Really?
it's yeah, but it
Good boogie face.
They lied to
just
y'all.
look for real. It was that's what it was designed to be. That's to the point they even had to turn it to charm school. Remember when Monique
Charm
was on
School was
charm
good,
school?
but that was good.
But that's the bad girls club was to put
No,
a room full of
no, no,
bad
no,
girls
no, no,
together and
no. That's
fuse.
not Charm School.
Oh, no, I'm
That's
not saying you see.
Gladiator. That's Gladiator business there, boy.
No, they had Brother Charm School for him with Nick, whatever Monique. I mean, but no, this it was on a design for it to see if they can put a whole bunch of bad women together, and see if they'll change their ways. That's what it ain't.
I
It ain't.
watched that. I watched that with my girl, and all I see is get
Big,
everybody together, get them drunk, and fight. and that's it. I don't see like I just don't. I don't see no storyline. I don't see nothing. Just fight, and then after they fight, it's not. It don't look like nobody's taking showers when they go to the club.
I'm not
So it's
playing.
like
I'm not playing.
it's like what the fuck is going on? Like what is really going on? Like I'm thinking, okay, you fighting, then everybody goes and takes showers, change, and look nice. Sometimes they fighting, and then they going straight to the club. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out what's the angle of these shows. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Maybe I'm too old. Maybe I'm too old.
No, there ain't no angle to that shit for real. You ain't
no angle
lying.
to that shit. The angle to that shit is niggas fuck up niggas for ratings and for views and for clicks and for likes. That's the angle.
Yeah.
And they get paid after that.
They get paid. Ray Benzino is in the building, the YouTube streets in full effect. Hey, listen, Benzino, it's been a pleasure. I'd love to have you back in about 30 days, 2 months.
I want to be a regular.
You do.
I want to be part of the crew. I fuck with y'all.
Really?
What's up?
We're gonna holler at our people and holler at our people, and then we go no.
How you gonna holler at your people when we all say yeah?
Making my honorary
I
host.
like the 6. I like the 6 right here. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
This is cool.
right. We can make that happen. I think we can put that together. I
like that.
What's the news? I think we can make that happen. Why not?
Why not?
And Henny, don't be checking me in public, Henny.
Oh no! Listen, listen. Let me tell you about politics, man. Like the Source magazine was about politics, but we never. To me, I never voted for a president because no matter what, I'm still gonna get mine regardless of who is in fucking office. Nothing ever really changes for niggas, so I don't get caught up with that shit. I try to see what motherfuckers is doing good for us, because listen, you're gonna get some good shit out of Trump, you're gonna get some bad shit out of Trump, you're gonna get some good shit out of thing. How does it affect us? We're still in the ghettos. Niggas are still in the ghettos. Every race that been in these ghettos, we're still there. So it seems like it don't matter who the fuck is in office. You know what I'm saying?
They keeping their foot on our neck.
Yeah.
That part.
Next.
That was a good one.
You feel me?
That was a good one.
You feel me? You dig.
We feel you.
Give me that neck like Benzino. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen. Oh, you gotta say pause there, bro. Pause. And I ain't no pause, nigga, though. Hey, so listen, Ray Benzino, I appreciate you, man. The legend, the man, the myth.
Appreciate you, face.
It is what it is, man. Hey, listen, I would love to have you back. I would love to make you a part of the YouTube streets.
I'm with it. With it. I fuck with y'all. I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? I dip in and say my little thing. You know what I'm saying? We talk, man, and smoke, and I'm with it, bro. For real, man. I fuck with you, face. I fuck with all y'all. I appreciate for y'all having me. You know what I'm saying? For real.
And listen,
thank you so much.
You and Boogie gonna have to have one of them smoke on, because Boogie normally smoke 5-6 blunts in about.
Boogie, when I come to the D, we smoking out. That's all I do.
That's what we do. Tap in.
Come on.
That's it.
Look at him. Come on, tap in.
I went light today.
He went light today.
Hey, baby, don't listen.
Proud of you, Boogie.
I was listening to what you were saying, Mama. Trust me, I was listening to what you were saying. So I appreciate it.
No.
Maybe I was paid to say that shit.
Nigga, my shit, I'm waiting for it to come through.
Right. Hey, man, listen. Welcome to it's been a YouTube. Hey, I don't even know what to say. Baby, that'll take us out.
Look, y'all, thank y'all once again for checking into YouTube Streets. We'll be back next episode with some mad major shit. You know, Dogface always got it on the flow. Thank you, Henny, for coming. Public Figure Boogie TV, Uncle Juice, Dogface, Benzino. It's been real, y'all. We out.
I've been working out, baby.
And we out. You feel
We out.
He lying again.